Literally moved here in 2020. Literally all of my reversionary interest is in Cali. Okay. So, so I was supposed to file a 541 ES. That's a fiduciary return in California, which is where I would be giving them permission, fiducie to fiducie, trustee to trustee, because I have a Form 56 and a 2848 on all my vessels, right? I would have been sending them a 541 for the same amount, 1.7 divided by 4 with a 541V attached. And that would have given California permission to go grab the credits out of my mort main and issue them to me on the K1. Not my 1040, but the K1, because the K1 is no different than, let's say, an OID or a 1099B return, like a return. It's actually a qualified return, right? It's a claim form. And as Marduk was so brilliantly saying, when we sign under penalty of perjury, it turns it into an affidavit. So it's holding the Treasury or the Franchise Tax Board harmless in the wager or negotiable event. Why is it negotiable? Because they have 10, 20 years of my ledger. If there's a year that my social owed some funds, well, that needs to be settled before they can send me, they call it a lump sum, because they've gone back, done the auditing, closed out the debt. They do an adjustment letter. So they'll send you a letter and say, if you agree with this amount, or your records show something different, please send us what your records say, whatever. But if you agree, you don't have to do anything. We'll send your return. But I never did a 541. I would have only had to pay, I think, like $32 to attach my fiduciary tax return to California. So only about, I think, maybe a month ago did I actually file for the first time a 541, but it was for a different trust that I have. I wasn't even thinking that it might be missing from that original 2022 Teeter International Trust tax return. So this is where we're kind of reverse engineering. All of us are kind of sharing our insights in order to spare you it's been 3 years since COVID. We're sparing you all the testing and waiting and then more testing and then more. No one was teaching this stuff, y'all. Now, of course, I could have gone and read the whole publication on trusts and estates. Then I would have learned that I was really supposed to be doing a 706 to terminate the trust, the irrevocable trust located in Cali, and moved all that reversionary interest with my new allegiance as a resident elector. I'm an elector now. I'm an elector. Why? Because I'm a civil, what do they call it? There needed to be a civil authority stood up in a republic. You can't be a republic if you're in debt or some other entity owns you or has occupied you or has, shall we say, dunce numbered every single public office. Every one of them has been turned into a corporation and none of them have an oath. And so what we're doing is we're all standing up as diplomats because we're becoming the elect who have the right to redress our grievances if we've actually had our rights violated. I can actually connect myself to any one of your cases and stand for you, be a witness for you, even be a surety for you. I can be an advocate for you. I can actually, if you happen to be detained unlawfully, I can go in, I can administer for you. I can ask the bailiff for the charging instruments. I can set them off right there in the court because it's actually my court. We don't have to grandstand. We don't have to fight. All we do, it's all the pen. It's all it's ever going to be because this is God's law, the sovereign. So let me share this with you. And then I would love it, Marduk, if you read the Common Cause to them, because I think everybody's ready to start finally standing up and seeing God looking through their eyes as that nobility, that regent that they are, right? We're being of service to each other. The Benny is known and the trustees here to settle the matter. The Bennies are known, but normally in a court case, it's one party that's been made a matter in a public venue. In trust law, it's illegal to bring the names or the asset ledgers into a public venue. You can be fined $100,000 and fired on the spot and be held personally liable for injuring the Bennies and their private knowledge, their private asset ledger. So why I can enjoin, that means lock arms with anyone who's willing to allow me to stand for them, because I'm protecting their privacy. So when their name gets called, I stand up. The Benny is known, Your Honor. The trustee is here to settle the matter. That's a private agreement between the Benny and me, or the all caps named person in the court, right? I would simply ask, I'm asking for the accounting. So Your Honor, could you please ask the bailiff to bring me the charging instruments and any accounting I may need to see to settle this matter before you today, with my pen in my hand as I'm looking at him in the eyes. Now, I may have my birth certificate right there, ready to flip it over. And as a surety, I can do that. I can use my CAF person, my birth certificate. I can flip that over after he gives me the instruments. I can write across the instruments right there while everybody's watching, except for value, accept, present tense. This is an act of God happening on a ship in the high seas. This is a miracle, right? This is someone standing for another as a protector. So I can just accept the instruments, because once I write on them now, see, I'm the fiduciary, and the judge no longer has to be that. He deposes his military rank, because there's actually a commissioner on the ship, a purser, and a postmaster. I could even have stamps right there in my little clear sheet, and I could postmaster each one of those documents on the front and the back. Accept, return for value, closure, settlement and closure for payable to the United States Treasury. Accept, and on the date, and then the date, and then return for value, settlement and closure. This amount, it'll be double. By Bay, I think we all should be putting Bay, because we're all the royals in this North American continent called Turtle Island. But we don't even have to put by. We don't even have to put a line. In fact, it's preferable if you don't. It's preferable if you just do maybe just a nice big 8 infinity symbol. Okay. And then, I can, take pictures of what I just did, turn my birth certificate over, endorse it on the back, exactly what I just did with the other instruments. Take a picture, front page, back page, because I want to get the stamps. I'm the postmaster of the ship now. Royal Mail Ship is the RMS that you saw on my document. I've made my private irrevocable trust one of the workers for the owner that is her ministry, her Messiah, or her Majesty. And I've named it Royal Mail Ship, so it's RMS. And that's actually a thing. Teeter International RMS. Okay? So now I just send those papers back to the bailiff. He hands them to the trustee of the bank, who's the clerk of the court. A calendar, which is what the courts have. If you look up the definition of calendar, it is the annual recording of debt. Once the debt is settled and paid, you cannot have the matter on your calendar anymore. So, thank you for your service to every person who's acting on that ship in that moment. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. And thank you to the gallery for bearing witness to this miracle and act of God. And we all get to do this for each other forevermore. Have a nice day. God
Amen.
bless you and Godspeed, right? Because remember, he's got a military rank. And I boarded the ship so I could take care of the matter because a private matter accidentally got put in a public venue. I have the right to protect those around me and especially minors. And our all caps person is a minor in commerce until we're competent to self-govern or be a trustee over that name. What do you think, Marduk? Do you want to read Common Cause to them? Because it's in context.
Sure, yeah. I hope you guys don't hear my dog barking. He saw a cat, so let's I've never seen him actually do this. But yes, we can read that. I want to make sure I hopped on tonight like for a quick call to make sure that because there were some people still confused, it seemed, about like what we're learning about the ESs. So I just wanted to make sure everybody had clarity. I know you brought up the Trust 41. We honestly aren't there yet in terms of the entire group. So there'll be more to come to that. Whoever asked that question.
But the bees, we have to follow the instructions with the bees. I'm telling you, so that you can spare yourself all the mistakes and all my misery, all my delays. See,
what do you mean with
that, the 5-page instructions that we're not gatekeeping anymore. Everybody needs to get their living trust going. And then it even says you file a 1041 after you're done. So you actually have a B to upload into your trust tax return when you file it. And I have a lot of experience with filing trust tax returns. So I'm happy to create a separate group for that for people that are there. But I truly feel, Marduk, everyone needs to get the instructions on the 1099B completed and ready for their 1041 filing.
No, for sure. I mean, I did this yesterday. I told you that this morning. I got my CAP, my revocable living trust, my EIN for it. It's just there was people. I started this call randomly at short notice because there was people still asking questions about the ES. So that's why I just didn't want to make them any more confused. But yeah, I'm with you. If we can, we could definitely do that. I would love everybody to get at that point. It just didn't seem like everybody was on the same page. So I just wanted to clarify. I was answering questions for like a solid 45 minutes before you hopped on about the ESs still. So that's why I was saying, it seems like there's confusion still. And my point again, this is very simple, guys. The ESs, do not overthink it. You're sending them credit and you're getting the return through the 1040. You're sending them a credit and a draw. You're getting the return on the 1040. Everything that you see on the front that it asked for, you fill that out. When it comes to the returns, there were some questions for the 1040, Kimmery, but I told everybody just worry about getting the vouchers in right now. And we can kind of
Here's the
maybe
thing I want to here's the thing I want to say though, we just don't know how many in the group are actually doing and completing the 1099B process and how many are just doing the ESs. And I'll tell you why that matters. Because if you do your 1099B, even just one for your mortgage or your rent payments, your ESs need to be way over $250,000. Just telling you right now. Do you get it?
Where do we get the five-page instructions?
The B is the basis for the return.
Okay.
I think just what Marduk said, Kimmery, some of us already came into this group, like the Carla and I, having already done that process that you shared. So we got it from someplace else. So we have already started filing the Bs. But
Awesome.
I don't think the group
you're filing the Bs with 10 times the amount, sis?
That was who I told you. She's waiting on a check, remember?
Awesome.
She did this. Was that you, I think, or was that Britannia?
And I think it was.
Yeah, it was Britannia. So
yeah, it was Britannia, but I did one on one of my mortgages, and it's been refinanced 3 times. So I haven't filed the form yet because we were just kind of waiting to see what you share. But we do realize that the rest of the group is we don't think everybody is ready.
Well, here's the thing. If you send in ESs, though, Britannia, we have to be careful because if you send them in something to cause an accounting, it'll cause a delay. You got a letter to verify, right?
Yes, the LTR 6042C.
Correct. Now, here's my question. Did you actually send in to the 3 different agencies the birth certificate, the social, and the ID copies?
I sent the birth certificate, social ID copies to the Attorney General, and I sent the separate one registered mail to the IRS.
And the non-decedent notarized?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay, so we don't want to interfere. Well, so you filed a 1041 trust return too?
I did.
Hallelujah. Okay, so all they want to do is verify that you are the entitlement holder in due course of the reversionary interest that actually belongs to the principal. So if I were you, I would be careful doing 1041 ESs because you'll cause an accounting delay.
On the Ds.
No. I wasn't going to do the 1041 ES. I was only going to do the 1040.
Okay, perfect.
So you're saying if you would be careful if somebody filed Bs to do ESs after the fact?
If she's already been in communication and they're working on her account and all she has to do is verify now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people.
I'm past that point. I'm waiting on the check. I've already, I sent them my verification in July.
Awesome.
They told me to give them 9 weeks, so I'm in the 6th week of the 9 weeks. So I want everybody
hallelujah.
That praise, PRAY, to pray that I get my check.
Oh, sister. Okay. All right. So did you only attach the B to the 1041 is my question.
Yes.
Okay. So what you just told us, if and when this check comes in a nanosecond, right? It's coming in. It's already in your hand. Okay. It's already here. Okay. When it comes, what you're telling me is those 5 pages of instructions. There is nothing else we have to do, including not having to do ESs, ladies and gentlemen. What you're telling me is we've been given the ticket of all tickets.
That's what I'm saying. When it comes to the revocable trust, yes.
This is a hallelujah, ladies and gentlemen. This is a hallelujah because it's been such a long road getting here. And because she's notified the agencies, I don't think she's going to have a problem at all because she's in the instructions. It said, go open up a trust account. Did you do that?
Yeah, I opened up a trust account after I got my revocable, because I'm in Texas. After I got my revocable trust.
I am singing hallelujah right now. Okay, you guys, this is it. This is the whole thing. The reason why all 3 of my trust tax returns got scooped back was for my benefit. They're looking for the principal, and I had not done the instructions that are on the B. Imagine my surprise after 3 years of working in and out. I'm telling you, Jolly knows how hard I've been working, you guys. I'm telling you. And all of a sudden, I'm reading the B, the instructions. I'm having someone read it out to me because I can't even believe my ears. Hallelujah. I just dropped the mic. There is absolutely nothing to do but sing karaoke right now. Hallelujah.
So
I
Kim Marie, I just want to confirm the young lady who taught us how to do the bees gave us very similar instructions to what you had, and I shared that with her, and she's like, "Oh, this is just confirmation." There was one step that was missing in her instructions. That was on yours, and that was the Secretary of State notification. But other than that, everything else was pretty much identical. And I don't know if Dr. Carla wants to add. So, yeah,
I did want to mention too, Kim Marie,
for a while.
So all of these guys that are speaking right now are from the private banker tribe that I told you about. And we've been at all these processes for about a year. So there are a lot of us that are capable and understanding of what you're talking about. So if you do want to do like a separate like trust class, I do want everybody to get there.
We don't need to anymore. You guys, all we need to do is print copies of those 5 pages, roll them up in a scroll, put beautiful I love you stickers and ribbons all around them, and give them to everybody you love. She just confirmed. If Ratanya can do it, anybody can.
I understand that, but Kim Marie, there's people here having trouble with the ESs still. Is my point. I'm trying to
maybe they don't need to do them. That's what I'm saying. Let's all focus on the B.
Okay.
I think what he's saying, if the comprehension isn't there to do the ES, there's no way the comprehension is there to do the more advanced things.
Agreed.
I think that's
Right.
what he's trying to say.
Hold
on. We were simply told not to gatekeep.
No. That's not what I'm saying. That file is, hold on, guys. That file is in the vault here. It's in my link in my bio in my TikTok. I went on the 903s live today and I shared it with everybody there. I told everybody to download it. I went over the ESs with the 903 again. The reason why I'm hesitant right now is because there's still people messaging me asking me specifics for the ES, and they're confused about that. And there's a lot more steps in preparation when it comes to.
But here's my concern. All of you, hear my concern right now. This just happened between me and Ratoya. Okay, I was inspired to share the ESs with people because of my literally difficult road and 3 tax returns being taken from you guys. I'm wondering if maybe just the ESs are done by 1040 people right now, and they don't have to worry about having their trust and everything done because the
that
ES
makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, no, okay. I'm with you there. I'm with you there 100%. Because if you can recoup 10 times on all your contracts, like yes, it'd be more worthwhile to do the Bs, and I feel like the return would come quicker since it's not going to be amended. Well, I guess you would,
right.
Yeah,
the ESs can just be for 1040s right now. People can amend all day long their 2023s, send in their 250,000. I didn't pay myself, and go ahead and collect that, write what you said to write on top of the X, and get an amended tax return of 250,000. Right. Yeah, hallelujah.
Yeah.
People like me, Marduk, probably shouldn't get the confusion is what I'm getting. And I would rather not. I'll stick with the ESs. I'm investigating the whole other thing right now. I got my EIN and I'm slowly getting there.
No, yeah, brother. Listen.
Oh.
Well, DeCarlo's been trying to speak. Let me hear what she has to say, and then we'll continue.
Yeah, no problem.
May I ask a question right there?
1 second. DeCarlo's going to speak, and you can ask a question next.
Okay.
She's been trying to speak for the past 5 minutes.
I'm going to clarify. Y'all already have clarified because I believe there has been some mixing with the ESs with the 1040s and then the 1099Bs and the 10 and the 1041 filings and things. So this is what I'm getting. You all are correct. Just to help people, get people out of financial constraints, amend these returns under 1040s with the ESs. But these 1099Bs, even if it is an account that is in what is considered the all caps name, straw, whatever you're comfortable with calling it, even if it's in that social security name, that 1099B, once they finish and calculate that, you can claim that on your 1041. I have seen it done. I have seen the return, and I have seen the updated and corrected 1099B, and just out of one bank account, she set for life. And those credits, as Retanya, I believe, I hope I'm not butchering your name.
Britannia.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Stated you can carry those credits over because I don't see how we can spend $6 billion in one lifetime, even with all the charity in the world. And you can pull off of that every single year through your trust. And that is a very simple way. And that was just one account. So imagine, you if you wanted to do all of your accounts.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I did, you guys. I got all my revocable living trust stuff set in place before I did anything. And once I got all of those things recorded, set in place, sent all my decedent, all of that stuff, because it is a process. I don't want to, confuse anybody and make it seem like, oh, it's this, that, and the third, but it is a process. Once I got all of that information set in place, got my EIN, got my trust and all of that, I went and I only did one bank account because I just wanted to test it out. Right. And so I did my B and got, on the tax 1099, I did my B, got that back. It was approved by the IRS or whatever. Got that back, filed a 1041, and then sent it on to the IRS. So this has been going on since the beginning of mid part of the year, like March for me. And so I did all of that, sent it through the mail. Finally got the LTR 6042C in the mail, like in July. I immediately sent that to them, and they've been processing it ever since. So I'm any day now expecting my check for just that one bank account.
So, and just to clarify, that's one way of doing it with the B's. How we were taught, we did 2 B's. And it didn't take long for them to get.
Yeah, I did 2 B's as well.
And she did 2 A's. 2 A's, 2 B's. It
yes.
Take long for it to get back. For her account for her to get.
Oh, you did 2 A's?
Yes, 2 A's and 2 B's.
And it didn't take as long as many people think, because what she doing, what she's doing is the same thing that what we were taught is doing. And you would be surprised at the number that you get back for the credits that you can claim. And that's what we're saying. It's like she did one account, and the amount, depending on everybody, amounts are different because it depends on what you put in, length of time you had, how much trading they've done on your accounts. things like that, because they go and audit, and everything is electronic now, so things can move a lot quicker, but it still takes them a little bit of time versus them when they were pushing, do these 3949As and 211s and all this stuff. The B's get the audit done, get you the numbers that you need to know that you can claim, where you can file it, where you can do the process that Retanya did.
That's the way.
That we did. That the person know that we know did, and has a very, very, very nice return coming back to her as well. And she's a little bit behind you, Retanya, and getting her check. So, that's a whole nother person.
I'll be able to reach out to you.
Huh?
I'll be able to chat with you about the A double A's and the big double B's.
Well, that's something that we're gonna share with everybody.
Yes. Thank you.
Go on individual chats too much unless it's somebody's group. Like, I will go to Marduk and I will share something with him, and then other than that, then if I'm bringing something, I'm gonna bring it to everybody. I'm not gonna just bring it to one person. And I always tell people to ask their questions in the group, because there may be somebody else that have that same
Yeah, let me know when you do that.
Marduk?
Everybody will know,
Marduk.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's the point that Kim Marie has been trying to make this whole time. Everybody is going to know it at one point in time, but going to the point of Marduk, people are still confused about the ES. So
and that's why we're concerned. Exactly.
I think it's pretty simple.
It is.
I still have a
all right.
question whenever we can.
Yeah. Sure. What's your
Marduk,
question?
Marduk,
Yeah.
I sent you that a while ago, the 2 A's and the 2 B's.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, DeCarla.
No problem.
Whenever we're doing our notices to the agencies.
You guys, hold on. Infinite Credit Goddess is trying to ask a question. Just 1 second.
Thank you very much. I do what I can to try to be considerate as well. So I really appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone's correspondence, because it's very helpful. My question is regarding the non-decedent. I had done that some time ago. I did receive correspondence maybe about a week ago from Fresno stating that, the account was updated. I wanted to know, would I be sending that out to different agencies? Because I did not send anything to the AG yet in the state where I am. And I hadn't sent anything to the state where I, was born. So I'm trying to figure, because what I planned on doing was sending the letter that I received along with the non-decedent letter and the identifying documents to the other agencies, but I wasn't sure which agencies other than the agencies I sent it to. I sent it to 4 or 5 different addresses, but I don't remember exactly what, and I don't have it in my hand.
For the IRS, you sent it to 4 or 5? Like 4 or 5 different IRS offices, or?
I believe sent it to the IRS, the Social Security Administration,
Secretary of State and Attorney General.
The United States. Go ahead, I'm listening.
The Secretary of State and the Attorney General, you're going to want to, along with your declaration of trust or your certificate of trust.
Yes.
And that wouldn't be a bad idea. If you already have correspondence from the IRS stating it's been updated, that's kind of more even solidified for you, so I don't think that's a bad idea at all. I have a bunch of templates. I just haven't put them up yet because I didn't know I thought we were going to one thing at a time sort of deal. But if that's what everybody wants to go for, if y'all, can help each other out in answering questions, we can definitely get onto that. I don't really know how much we can talk about the 1040 ES anymore anyways. There's 2 videos up, the Q&A and the original 9-hour video that covers all the questions that you guys are continuing to ask, not in a rude way, but it is there if you need it. And if that's holding up the rest of the group from, getting their trust set up and learning more about that, then we can definitely move on to that. I just wanted to be, it's been already kind of messy. So, and I'm just trying to do things more effectively and efficiently. Now that we have everybody up to speed, most of the people up to speed on ESs, they can help the other people who have questions. And, but what if that's what we collectively want to do? Yeah, I'm not going to stop anybody from wanting to learn more. It's definitely, we can have a next call planned where we go over and I can get the templates for the non-decedent letter and for the template for your living trust and a revocable living trust. And the EIN's pretty self-explanatory. The CAF number is probably going to require a little more explaining to you guys than the others, just making sure you know how to utilize the entity. But that's the other thing. You guys really need to do your own digging on how to operate a trust. It's not just, I have a trust, I'm good to go. You need to know what place you hold with trust, and not a lot of you can't even grab the concept of like a banker's acceptance right now or anything. So I just want to make sure I'm being mindful of
that's why I think that's why people are here. They're learning, they're listening, they're getting information that they then can go read to get more educated. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody's at the same level.
That is my point. Exactly right. And, I'm just wanting to be mindful of that as well. So it's up to y'all. Yeah. If Kimberly wants to move on to B's, we can do a next class on that. Or even just, I'll get the templates up and you guys can follow the script as she calls it, and get all that stuff set up there as well. I don't think it's a bad idea at all to at least get your tools in place, just want to make sure, everybody's cool with that. If you have questions, we'll try our best to answer them too.
I just want to say gratitude, and definitely I want to send a lot of love to Kimberly, a whole lot. I know you're here to get things off your mind, but I just want to send a lot of love because I know a lot of things are coming that maybe you need a little extra love in your direction. I just wanted to put that out there and say thank you again.
Thank you, my sister. I totally received that. And I feel the hugs from everybody. Marduk has been such a great support. And, my study buddy community, everybody is just, been so, well, you guys are all angels walking on this planet, and we're giants. I mean, we're much more than just sovereign, regent, queens and kings. We are giants with wings. And I feel it. I know that Marduk feels it. I feel it when I see everybody working so hard in these rooms. I mean, I'm just honored to be here. And I didn't realize what I could contribute, that people had never thought about doing. I just for sure did not want to create any confusion or any burden for anybody. So thank you all for understanding when I've had to go away for a little bit because, first my dad and then my dog right now. So it helps to take my mind off of it by being with family. So I can, so my heart receives that. Thank you so much, my sister.
So I have a question.
Can I just add something? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I have did the B's and I'm waiting for my refund now. So are we saying that we should wait on this process with the ES?
No. Your Social Security entity is completely separate than your whole living trust thing. What Kimberly's saying is if you don't worry about doing a trust ES and just focus on doing the B's for your trust. However, for the Social Security person, it's the opposite. Just do the ESs for your social and don't worry about doing the trust ESs. You can just have the cushion from your Social Security person's ESs to focus on getting yourself set up for success with the B's in your revocable living trust. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like I say, I've done the revocable irrevocable trust, and I've already filed my B's and just waiting for my refund. But I came across this Kamari, and I says, "Oh, okay, let me do this here." So I just wanted to make sure I'm not jumping the gun and already filed my B's and get into this process. And
Let me share with you something that has served me for many years. When I'm of service to other people with knowledge that I have, I find that my stuff gets worked out, right? So if you know somebody who has an IRS bill, someone who's drowning, someone who has forgotten who they are and needs some hope and some inspiration, the conversation about the possibility that we can actually pay ourselves on an ES and a V and send that to the proper address, that alone can save someone's life. I'm not kidding. Especially a veteran, especially an elderly person, or a minor who's wanting to learn how to operate in commerce in integrity and not in usury. If I would have known that I could pay myself when I was 17 years old, this world would look very different right now. So I challenge all of us while we're waiting for our processes to inspire one other person, just one. We don't have to help everybody, but if we could just find one person that we can bring hope to, I think it would make a world of a difference in affecting how fast that we really, can stand up all these republics as diplomats, as regents, as sovereigns, as kings and queens. You know what I mean?
Kim Marie, may I ask a question there?
Hold on a second. Hold on one second.
Okay, sorry. Good.
Sister, did that resonate with you?
yes, indeed.
Awesome. Wonderful. I feel that hug. Thank you so much.
All right, and the question was just something simple. Well, in your opinion, it's not my failure on my end that could be holding you up in any way, is it?
Can you say the first part again? I didn't quite hear it.
Could it be my failure on my end as far as our W-2 situation? Is my failure to have that taken care of on my end, is that holding you up at all?
No. Anytime I've ever gifted or been the payer on any of those grants that I've issued, that I've underwritten, all of those were trusts or employer home worker EINs that I W-2'd everybody with. And
all right,
so
I'm making sure that my failure wasn't delaying you. Okay, that's
no,
all.
you're good.
Sure.
Thank you for checking in though, because that's important to note that the payer never gets a bill. So it brings me back to the 5 pages of the 1099-B again. I'm sitting here with my jaw dropped. I was at the hospital right now, just today. My credit score is 620. And I was applying for $2,500 in care credit for my animal that was sedated, and they were doing x-rays and tests, and I had no idea what kind of outcome we're dealing with. And they denied me. I'm sitting in the car bawling my eyes out, and they denied me $2,500 in credit. And instantly, you all, I realized I'm taking a screenshot. They said, "We're sorry, we can't give you any credit right now." Did they not just run my social security number for $2,500?
They sure did.
They did.
Do I not get to get them fucking audited now?
10 times the amount.
Thank you. Thank you. That's justice. That's justice. I was so upset. Imagine, I'm helpless. I'm not a veterinarian. I don't know what to do for my dog. The least I can do is pay an expert to help my dog. And these people go run my credit and deny me. Here's my song. Apply, apply, apply. Deny, deny, deny. Collect, collect, collect. Middle finger.
Okay.
That's where we're at. That's where we're at, all of us. Until we report them, until we get them a free audit, we're not going to really see the value of our signature because this is brand new knowledge to me. This whole time I thought, oh, I'm just a orphan foster kid, just a dumbass.
Can I ask a question real quick in regards to something like that?
Yeah.
So I went downtown to a store and they said, oh, do you want a credit card? And this is before I started listening to you guys. So, of course, I had to enter my social and I entered my social and then I received a letter. Oh, no, you don't qualify. But I didn't sign in. It was just through, like if you go to Walmart and they try to get you or Target, but it's a store downtown and they just send me a letter that I was denied. Is that what you're talking about?
100%.
OMG.
I have a denial from Wells Fargo from 2022 where I applied for a mortgage. Oh, on their letterhead in a beautifully professional written letter. We're so sorry, Miss Teeter. We can't pre-qualify you for $300,000 right now, but you can check back with us later. You bet your banana sandwich right now. I'm frickin' 1099ing that wonderful professional letter.
I am, so if I don't have those letters, because of course I got mad and I threw them away. Unfortunately, I didn't know about this. Now that I know, how can I go back and find out?
Still have record of it. Those all have reference numbers, so you can call. You can call.
Hold on a second. Hold on. There's so much to collect. Did you pay rent last year or did you pay a mortgage last year?
Mortgage. I'm paying mortgage.
Okay, why don't you work on getting that account back on your 1099Bs and your 1041? That's 10 times your mortgage monthly times 12, whatever that number is, times 10.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. It's a mic drop, right? You get this? We don't need to make it harder than it already, it's a little bit of a process. So if you have your eye on the cheese, you have your eye on that mortgage times 12 times 10, and you read through those instructions again and you realize we're actually going to be getting manna from heaven. And she just testified today. All she did was follow what everybody has the instructions to do now, bit by bit by bit.
So
what a hero you're going to be for your family.
So I do same thing, ESs and Bs?
1040s, 1040 people can do ESs. If you've already filed, it's going to be an X. So you want to get your ESs in, and then you want to look at your transcript in your IRS portal. Then you're ready to start putting together your tax return. The Bs are for people who are willing to come home to their estate and start operating through agrarian law, not the law of the sea anymore. Agrarian law is the law of the land. The minute she reports to those three agencies, and by the way, it's not the Social Security Administration anymore, because they are a department of. They were a franchise that was profiting off of all of us and never, ever benefiting us. In fact, they even knew about the scheme that all of us were being stolen from and never whistle-blew. Whistleblowing is over. People had until 2023, January 1, to whistleblow. So now all of those agencies get taken over. So the minute someone takes their certificate of trust, their EIN, goes and opens up their bank account, notifies the Secretary of State, you're now a diplomat. Secretary of State is non-domestic without the U.S. Think of the Secretary of State as your internal revenue service, acting under the Constitution of that state, must perform, has a duty to perform on your behalf. Attorney General manages consumers in the marketplace. Therefore, their job is to make sure if any one of these companies, trusts, exempt entities, banks, whatever operating in the state injures one of us, the living, that's the top brass of the state that has a duty to go and get your settlement from that company's coffers, because they're going to get audited. And then the IRS, obviously, because that's the trust management division. Cincinnati is where all of our CP575s pop out of, our little unlimited checks, that unlimited credit checks that we get to use when we want to pay a hospital bill or we want to pay something. So if when you read through the instructions on the 1099B, you're going to get a great education. And you're going to start to remember and realize that you're about to be free and the holder in due course of the interest of your bartered. Think of yourself as a queen coming down and going into the marketplace and giving your social security number to Best Buy because you need to buy a new phone for your son. And your credit's denied. We now have recourse. You go right home and you fill out that B. That's what I did today.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a quick question. Going off of infinite credit and what she asked a while ago, maybe Britannia or Carla could help with this too. I'm kind of towards the end of that 1099B process as well, but based on what was said earlier, would it be a good idea to send those Attorney General letters and Secretary of State letters to the state I was born in also? I had sent them to the state that I live in. I've lived here for like 15 years.
Where you reside. Yes, ma'am. That is where your allegiance is right now. Think of each
don't
of
worry
the 50,
about where I was born.
Correct. Correct. I have trusts back in Cali. That's why I still have business there to wind up. Okay. So think about where your residence is right now is where your allegiance is. Think about Montana is a country. It has its own constitution. When you're in Montana, you don't get to drive on the, what do they call the sides of the roads? The, when we were in Arizona, what's that side of the road where the white line is?
Service road.
Thank you. Okay. The shoulder side of the road, because there are certain counties that are unincorporated, where there's basically policy enforcers that are working with the mob, and they get to all day long write tickets and tow people's cars and do stupid shit, right? So we found that out the hard way, but thank goodness I had a camera and I called the sheriff so that he could witness what was going on. Anyway, certain states have a constitution. Like Idaho has in their constitution, it is written they cannot and never will sell their debt. So if they have a natural disaster, it's in their constitution and in their bylaws. Every person who resides in Idaho knows that if a bridge collapses, all of their taxes will go up for a time because everyone has interest in the bridge getting repaired, right? They're not going to go get those GSA bonds from the federal district, get the federal people, get the federal agents' hands coming into the state of Idaho. And federal is foreign to Idaho. So when you get a GSA bond from the federal, you've just sold your tax dollars to underwrite a federal agent to come in and build your bridge for you. So you also outsource the labor. So people in Idaho lost the jobs. So in some states, which is where you reside, you're like a shareholder, like a private member association, a diplomat who has the right, title, and interest in your state. You have the right to be protected. You have a right to militia. You have a right to have a sheriff come. You have a right to call in the Rangers. If you're having a situation or an accident or something's happened and, it needs to be investigated at a higher level. So does that make sense? Wherever you're residing is where your allegiance is, because each of our states is its own sovereign governing body.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Good.
Thank you.
So can I ask my question now?
Yeah, go for it.
It's actually for Marduk before
Oh,
all
good.
this.
Marduk, where are you at? There he is.
I'm here. I'm there.
So can
What's going on?
you still pull up the back of the ES?
Yes. The endorsement, is that what you?
Yes.
Yep. 1 second. Okay. What's up? What's the confusion?
Under the tax year and form, how come you didn't put payment for and then the date?
I did. I was just showing people the 1040V
Oh, okay, it's on that one.
earlier. Yeah, I just typed out the 1040V endorsement and I was changing it back while we were talking. I got sidetracked, but they all have the payment for. Yep.
And is that considered like for the prepayment?
Correct.
Like a prepayment? Okay, so
you're issuing credit. Yeah.
Right. So for the 24 going into for the 25, you could just put that date and not like today's date or whatever.
Yeah, you could put the due date. Yeah, because you're forward paying it. So you're basically telling them that you're going to be on time on your quarterly payments. You don't need to put today's date unless you're doing something like, oh gosh, I think I just think keep it simple. Just keep it simple.
That's just what I was curious because I don't remember you pulling up the V form and seeing.
I couldn't pull. I didn't have the endorsement written, so I just for the V. So I just changed this to the V. But yeah, no, it's simple, brother. Just all the videos that we have out there, all the endorsements people are typing in the chat. That's what we're doing. See, you even knew.
I'm all good on that. It's just I didn't see the V form. The one that you have up now, I didn't see that one before. So
yeah, it was up there. I just changed it while we were talking so people can see the V.
Oh yeah,
what the V looked like without me having to go and type everything on a new document. Yeah.
And then somebody in the Telegram group asked or has a concern about the minus 62,500, and then you write it out cursive. Is that considered positive or negative? I'm assuming negative.
Yes. So you know how Kim Marie's transcript, it said any minus sign signifies a credit owed to you?
Right.
So when we're saying for credit right here, okay, for credit to, they know what the order is. They know what we want. We're telling them to credit whatever the value of this is to the account. Credit's always negative in their eyes. They have everything asked backwards. So whether or not you write minus in front of this or not, it's going to be fine either way.
No, but that was just somebody asked in the Telegram group.
Yeah. Yep. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah. It's really simple, guys. Don't, even Kim Marie said positive or negative on here may not even matter at the end of the day. Just make sure the message stays the same. Pay to the order, definite sum of money for credit to the account, tax year form, date, and you're good to go.
Oh, I'm good to go. I'm getting mine out on Monday.
Hell yeah.
So,
Same
all right.
here.
Awesome,
I like
guys.
to say heaven,
Marduk,
yes, Marduk.
heaven, yes. Marduk, that was the quarter due date that you said, right? Not the date that you're filling them out.
Correct. I made that clear earlier. Yeah.
Okay, good. Very good. Thank you.
This is just the payment for, and then the accounting year at the bottom.
And this may seem like, I guess, a picky question, but I'm just curious on the back of the instruments, is the reason that you're leaving it negotiable? And what I mean by negotiable is all the 1040 instructions say make checks payable to the United States Treasury as non-negotiable. And I notice you have the thing on there, pay to the order of, but all the 1040 instructions says make everything payable to the United States Treasury.
It's the same thing, brother. I don't think that the order makes it negotiable. What makes it negotiable is if you don't have a restrictive endorsement. This is what's called a restrictive endorsement. So we're telling them what to do exactly with it for credit to.
You can confirm that yourself, brother. To is non-negotiable and to the order of is negotiable. See, they can still order a transfer of that to another.
Let me tell you why it's actually a wager. Why it's actually negotiable. Because we're telling them that we'd like this much credit without recourse to our contract with them. We're in a covenant with them, right? There may be accounting or liabilities that person owes that's on their transcript, but they haven't filed and they haven't looked at their transcripts. They never even thought about paying themselves. So they had no interest in the IRS whatsoever.
I completely, okay. Now I can.
Now, do you get that? So they might take a portion out. Yep. They're going to take a portion out to settle a past year. Until that year has been paid, it's not closed and they can't move on to the next year to advance those credits to you.
I follow completely now. So it leaves it in their accounting hands to negotiate it, sort of settle the accounts. Gotcha.
Yeah, you bet.
Understand.
Yep. And all of you, just a quick reminder, I'm not sure if we've been reminding folks of this, but if you want to get your stuff put in a priority pile, I read it in one of the publications or one of the detailed instructions that I read. Above the address that you're sending it to, if you write in, well, I would write in purple now because I feel like we're all coming into our region. But you could do any color pen in quotes. Important tax document enclosed. Singular. Okay. And that's exactly just like they said, make payable to. The other thing is, Jolly, we're turning a payment voucher into a money order. So that's the other reason why on a lot of mine, I'm actually ordering up the money because I know that this is they need time to draw down from our main account, liquidate some of the bonds that we've created by driver's license, a marriage license, whatever. And it gives them time to sell the paper to make liquid the one side of the ledger so that the accountants at the IRS can actually go to work doing their work. The minute they get a V from us and it's attached to the ES, it's a green light go for them. It's a billable hours. It basically invokes their ability to perform rather than just put it in a file pile somewhere. So important tax document enclosed. And I would do that anytime you're sending something to the IRS. Because then they'll know you're the one that read the instructions.
Quick question.
Wow.
Did somebody say they had a question? I think I heard that.
Didn't get my trust until this year. Can I still go back 2 years on the ES and pay myself, or only for the trust when I got the trust?
Or I don't know if you heard earlier, Kimry saying basically if you are going to be utilizing the trust, you may as well just do it for Bs as opposed to the ES. Is there a reason why, if you have all that set up, you wouldn't want to just do the Bs as opposed to the ES for your trust?
I don't know. Can I put the same on the B?
What was that? I'm sorry.
On the B, I can put the for paying myself.
You're going to recoup all your credits that you spent in Commerce, all your deposits, all your contracts where you've issued credit times 10. So it ends up being more worthwhile to do that as opposed to in ES. And I think Kimry's logic behind that as well is there could be accounting holdups if you do both. So it would benefit you in the long run to just focus on any, sort of transactions. I'm sorry?
They haven't sent me a CAF number. Should I just request one?
You can go online to IRS.
I don't owe any money, so I don't know why they didn't send me one.
Did you submit a 2848?
Yeah.
Well, they may still be issuing it, but you can go. Hold on here. You can go to irs.gov
Wait a minute.
One second, brother. You can go to irs.gov tax pro, the tax professionals, and oh wait, when you log in here, you can even just even if you've submitted a POA, it should show up. I'll show you what it looks like.
You paid money to get the CAF number.
The CAF number is free.
That's why, I mean, brother, did I misunderstand you? Did you say you paid money to get the CAF number?
No.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood. Sorry.
I wanted to see if they had me owing any money, and they had me as owing $0 and no problems. So I was wondering why.
So when you're here, my man, can you see my screen? I'm sorry. Can you guys see my screen?
We can see it. Yes.
Okay. I think, my man, when you're unmuting a little after you start talking, so just try to unmute before you start talking, because I can't hear a lot of what you're saying. But all you have to do is request CAF number, and then you fill in the information. You can link your entities through here, and it'll issue you a CAF number within 2 to 3 minutes, and it shows up on your Tax Pro account. But you can also see your past. You can see your your power of attorneys or TIA requests on here as well. So it's kind of like a centralized thing. Once you link your entities to the SSN, what you would do through here. So I would check that out. If you have some time on your hands, and it's just irs.gov/tax-professionals. And if they don't have your POA, I mean, how long ago did you submit it?
It's been a month.
Oh, okay. Some of the people in my private, like me and Magic's private banker tribe, like our buddy Ross, he submitted his back in April, and he just got his CAF number maybe not even a month ago. So they're either fairly far behind or, yeah, but you can upload your, what was that?
So I'm going to do what you said on what I'm looking at right now. I'll try that.
Yeah. Try it out, man. It's a lot quicker.
Right. I appreciate you, bro. Thanks.
No worries. Yeah.
Marduk.
Yes.
He just goes tomorrow to get his CAF.
it'll be in the system, and they won't issue him another cap if he mailed in his papers. Is that what
Right.
he said? He mailed in his papers like a month ago.
Yeah.
He's still waiting. If you go tomorrow and just get your cap, it'll be in the system, and they won't issue you another one. They'll see it.
And if you haven't done your like ESs yet, bro, and you plan on sending those off this week, you need to include your CAF number the moment you have one issued on all your documents as well. So don't forget that too.
So I should go with the ESs since I don't have a CAF number though, instead of the 10 or 1041Bs.
I'm sorry.
So I should just hold off on the 1041 ESs and just go for the barter and stuff.
That's Kim Marie's outlook on it. Yeah, and I mean it makes sense if depending on like, especially have like a mortgage or a car loan or something, it's times 10 that, and that's just one contract, you know. So
right on. All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, no worries, man.
How do you 1099 an unlimited credit card if you were denied that? I'm like, what number do you put there?
What card is unlimited? Is it the Amex?
I would put all
Yes.
They're not unlimited. So the way Amex works is they'll tell you have like as much credit as you want, but then when you have the card, you have a spending power limit. So regardless, with credit cards, the way they work is they pool a definite. So say they give you a $5,000 credit limit, they typically pulled like a $50,000 line of credit when they ran your card per year. That's just like a rough number we're going off of. But they're unlimited. That when all the people talking about get an unlimited Amex, that was basically they were working with the investor relations in Amex and proving the fraud of the securities and the lack of like for the consumer. And they got continuous discharge, but it depends on the spending limit. I've had a gold card, and it was not unlimited. I had I think it was $7,500 limit that had to be paid off every month, but maybe I'm wrong. That's just my personal experience with the gold card.
Okay, because on my letter, there's this long number, and at the end it says USD.
It says what at the end?
That's on the denial letter. USD. And that blew my mind because it's no commas in it, similar to the way we have to do the numbers on our vouchers. And at the end it says USD. That blew my mind. I was want that up there.
I mean, maybe, yeah. I don't know though, and if it was a denial, like Kimmery said, it's probably best to just go after if you have something bigger, like bigger fish to fry, you know. Although with a credit card, if it's a $5,000 limit, I think I was talking to Laura about this, where if they basically pull 10 times what your credit limit was for that year. So I think we were doing the credit limit in proceeds and then the times 10 in the barter. Am I mistaken there, Laura? Are you still here? She may have hopped off. Okay. But yeah, there'll be
Yeah, that sounds about right though.
Yeah. So
Gratitude.
yeah, of course. Anybody else have any questions at all or anything?
Yes. What did Key Marie say about writing on the envelope again? I was writing it down and I missed like the last part.
I think it was an important tax document, or
Important
tax document enclosed.
Yeah.
In quotes.
Guys, I'm recording this. So if you missed out on anything, you can just go back and listen.
Thank you.
And please remember, there's no S on document, just in case.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know we were recording. I just saw.
I have a real quick question.
Sure.
I think I've been spelling my name wrong, but on my social security card it's spelled one way. Everything else, even with the IRS, is spelled another way. Do I need to contact Social Security about that, or as far as I know, it's all tied to one Social Security number?
So you're spelling your name wrong on your IRS documents?
Apparently, apparently I've been spelling my name wrong my whole life, and I didn't notice it until about 3 weeks ago when I looked at my Social Security card to get my EIN.
Yeah, the same thing happened to me. They messed up on my birth certificate. My legal name's Murdoch, Murdock, but my name's Marduk, Marduk, but my social security said Marduk with an E at the end, Marduke. So I ended up just updating the social security name to what's on my birth certificate, just so it's uniform, even though that's not my real name. And you can do that by just walking into a social security branch, if you have an ID that has your name spelled correctly, you can just show them that and let them know they made a mistake, and that's incorrect if you want it all to match, as far as utilizing a wrong name on the IRS documents, have you already sent them out?
No, but I've been dealing with, I'm 44 this year, so I've always spelt like it is right now, but my social security card says different.
I mean, it's really, it's a numbers game, bro. So I mean,
I'll just have them update.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, but I never had issues, and I always did my taxes with my legal birth certificate name, even though my social security name was spelled incorrectly. So I went off of what my birth certificate said, and even though taxes deal with social, it still went through most of the time. So it wasn't never too much of an issue.
Okay, I'll just do that. I'll just have it switched over to whatever I've been signing my whole life. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries. Dee Dee, were you gonna say something or ask a question? I know you unmuted.
Yeah, I did unmute because I was wondering, it seemed like at this point I should not do an ES and a B for the 1041 estate. Seems like we are being communicated to about the 1099Bs as being a better way to go at this point.
But that would be with the revocable living trust, your 1099Bs. So I would imagine maybe with the estate. I don't know, Kimry, do you have any ideas on that? If somebody wants to utilize their estate for getting a return, or for an ES return, do you think would that cause a whole accounting spike, or?
No. Is the estate, do you have an estate EIN and a living trust EIN?
Yeah, I have all three. I have a private banker, the foreign grantor trust, and also the estate. I've only had the estate for, 3 years, but the other two I've only had for, I don't know, several months.
You've got a lot of credit to swap over there, Missy. How I would do it is, think of the estate is like the escrow account where the assets are held that are not necessarily liquid yet. Okay. So if your private banker, let's say you're hiring the private banker EIN person and it's secretary, So you got a little team there, right? Your private banker is a team.
Yep.
Let's say the estate is hiring the team to start assessing and liquidating a few things in your estate. You know, an antique painting or something like that. So if you were going to take that to auction, let's say, and someone was going to make a bid, and it was going to possibly sell for $2 million, wouldn't the estate, the private banker who was getting messages from on high of how to liquidate your asset, your Schedule A, without actually having to go into an auction house, right? You get to keep it in the escrow account, but you get to assess it, create a bond on it, underwrite the bond, and bring some liquidity into the estate for your operations, right?
Okay.
So your private bank EIN could be the payer or EIN and the name, okay, private banker EIN, on your 1041s. And your private banker is ordering money to credit the estate. It's buying a painting. It's the auction. It's the auction house. It's the refiner. It's the assayer. It's the pawn shop. You know, it's you get to buy and sell paper back and forth to yourself because you got those EINs, right? So you could do the 1041 from the bank to the estate, and then when you go to file your trust and estate tax return, you make one or two or three of your other EINs or socials the Benny of the sold painting.
Okay.
That's going to produce the K1. And you get to list however many Bennies you want on there. So that's exciting. And by the way, I was able to quash a foreclosure on a commercial loan that was in court for 2 years by issuing to the bank a K1. I named the bank as the Benny, and I double paid what the commercial loan was. It was like $350. So I did something like, I just rounded up. I think it was 310 or something like that. And I did it for 600,000. And I named State Bank as the Benny. So my trust conveyed or transferred or bartered. You could call all these things, you know, they all mean the same thing, right? Depose your credit, put your credits under another's control. That's the same as a conveyance. It's the same as a sale of paper. It's the same as an underwriting or a bonding or a trading or a liquidating. It's all the same. So I sent that to the clerk of the court, which is the bank, the prosecuting attorneys who were fighting for the commercial loan to be paid, and they were looking for the person with the pen, because there was no estate to sue because the people were still living and occupying the farm that they were trying to steal. And we sent a certified copy to State Bank. And guess what? When you pay the debt, they cannot put the plaintiff on the calendar because the calendar is a bookkeeping of annual recording of debt. So since I notified the clerk, she notified the judge. He's the guy with the calendar. The prosecuting attorneys know that they just got fired. And State Bank got 600,000 in credits that they now have to pay taxes on if they want the money. Yeah. So it was a beautiful quash. They actually they had the goal to motion the court for the plaintiff's name to be changed, and the judge denied it. So now we know what they've been doing all this time. Pretty cool, huh? It cost me $145 to do it. I had to pay for the filing, or $124, sorry. But it was worth it because I had already done a 1099-C and an A. We had already done a FOIA request and asked for the oath of office for all the different actors in Chicago. And we, all those proof, we are not able to find any records to your request. So I got to send all of that to the clerk. So it's all in the record that, we even made sure as the trustees, we made sure we paid the property taxes, and I even overpaid with the negotiable instrument. And the assessor's office, just like the treasury, it can't be off by $1 because that's an overpayment and that's a return. So I was able to get three $1,500 checks as the trustee who was paying the property taxes. So I have to say, it's kind of a gangster move, don't you think?
Don't give them the W-9 and get their EIN.
That was the first thing we did because we were back in the sandwich days. That was the first thing we did with the VP of State Bank is we asked him for the W-9. Well, I was posing as her accountant, and I said, your accountant is telling you to go and email the VP that you got the commercial loan from, ask him for his W-9, and we want all the accounting that's related to this account that was created since the time of your commercial loan, which was in 2021. And he emailed back and said, we don't have a W-9 to give you, and you have no business with any tax returns related to this account. So you can imagine what this little hot pepper did. I mean, I went after the whole thing. I mean, we sandwiched it. We reported it to the TIGDA. We made the whole thing a tax matter the whole time, the whole way through. So, W-9 denied. And then, of course, because they're exempt, that's why they can actually hide the ball under the shell, right? Because they don't have a reporting compliance. They don't have to report because technically speaking, by all laws and bylaws of the corporate fiction, they're only holding property for the benefit of another. They're like a trust. They're exempt from reporting. They would actually get in trouble if they reported without prior written consent of the president or the vice president or the attorneys, the general counsel for the bank. So they don't have to tell the consumer, the purchaser, because their whole gig would be exposed. Because they're the fake trustee. And they create the fake accounts and they title the accounts in the name of different subdivisions that they have. And so it's that's why when you go to the county records and you ask for the last 10 years of the tax filings, the tax records, sometimes they won't give them to you because the person who is quote unquote being a fake trustee, purportedly trying to pay the taxes on behalf of the owner or the Benny. That's how they get away with it. And that's how they've been getting away with illegal, basically violating our rights the whole way through. Because why? No full disclosure and no common courtesy in contract law. It's just raping and pillaging and plundering and yeehaw. They've been doing it for so long and they've been protected for so long. They've been immune. That's why we know that foreclosures are illegal now. Mortgages and foreclosures are, the selling of our birth certificates and trading of our birth certificates and all that stuff is illegal now as of July 10th. So it'll be interesting to see what happens in the coming months with the sweep up of these people who were given plenty of notice Now they're unregistered foreign agents. So now they're actually involved in a racketeering conspiracy to defraud the public trust. No oath. You know, the notice was sent out to everybody. All these doing business as, all these dunce numbers, all the state of Michigan, state of Missouri, state of Georgia, all of them were sent notice. The de facto. If you don't have an oath and you're not registered, the immunity was stripped from anyone who was posing as an official, but is actually doing unofficial business. So now their immunity's been stripped. We're going to be seeing a pretty big cleanup here in a minute. Very exciting. Any other questions?
This is Elise. I would like to add something about that cleanup because I follow a lot of I'm going to call them undercover news sites. But if you ever been on the site called Real Raw News, there's a whole bunch of information about people that have actually been rounded up. I don't know how true it is, but I do notice how appearances change. Like they kind of are out of the media for a while with some type of sickness, and then when they resurface, they don't quite look like themselves. So everybody thinks I'm batshit crazy, let me tell you. But when I look at that site, then things start to make sense as I notice, like, oh, this person looks taller, the face structure looks different, the bone
Like
structure.
Biden.
Yes.
His earlobes were attached before and now they're not. It's weird. Yeah.
Yeah,
Bunch of
I've
stuff.
noticed a lot of crazy things, but when you go on that site, it seems like a lot of people might be at Guantanamo Bay.
Kamala looks different too. Her neck.
Apparently that's Kamal.
Yeah,
Apparently that's a man or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I saw that.
All sorts of stuff. Hillary Clinton even looks different. All of them. Yeah.
Yep.
But, we're crazy. So there's that.
Well, I have some confirmation just in case you want it. Real quick, Drip. Good friend of mine's husband was stationed in Germany in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And he works in the behind the camera. So he's in the publishing side of the military. And
like on field, like videographer?
Yeah, like a videographer. And so, military news that goes out amongst all the different bases. So his stuff is all live camera stuff. And so he's always looking in the, for the next, government contract job in the area of filming. And in 2018, he saw there was a 6-month gig, full
you told me
time.
about this. Yeah.
Full time filming with your team, first AD, second AD, what have you, because they've been filming the tribunals, getting it all on what's that kind of film that can't be edited?
Like actual film, like you're talking about like 35 or whatever millimeter or digital?
Yeah.
Monologue. Monologue. Yeah, monologue. And so, so you had to be skilled in that kind of, camera work. And it was for 6 months in Guantanamo. And my girlfriend was like, I'm not spending 6 months in Guantanamo for anybody and any amount of money. So we know that they've been filming out there since 2018.
Well, there's my confirmation.
I think we're watching a movie, folks.
Well,
And
I can tell you.
Go ahead.
I can tell you a brief story about. I didn't make it on a flight that I was going on, but I had insurance, and so I ended up at a hotel, and it was just me and this one other guy out by the pool, and he said, "I came to visit my friend here in Fort Lauderdale." And he had shown me boxes of money that the government was paying him to kill people.
Okay.
This is just random conversation.
Hopefully it was bad guys. Hopefully he's killing bad guys.
I have no idea.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I made a vault. It's not done yet, but there's like step 1, which is pay yourself, and then there's step 2, which is learn your 1099s. It'll have the trust template, attorney general letter, non-decedent letter, and the credits guide. So I will put that link in the main chat, which everybody can join the vault. I'm asking everybody kindly to please not share it outside of the, well, actually they can, because you won't be able to, you're not going to be able to chat in there. It's like a library. Okay. There will be no conversations, because as you guys see in the actual chat, it's really messy, and people who are at different levels are trying to find documents easily, and it's just hard to navigate. So I'm going to do that and slowly be adding to it. I'll put that link in the archive chat and the welcome chat right now, so you guys feel free to join. If there's anything that you guys think you'd like to see in there, please let me or Kim Marie know, and I can try to like upload whatever you guys find. Like, it's a group effort. It's not just, me finding stuff. So if there's input that you guys have that, would benefit all of us, and ideas, please feel free to share. It's not like a, monarchy here in any way. So I will put that in the link. Just look out for it. Yes, if you can't type in there, that's why. And yeah, appreciate it. But yeah, if you got, does anybody have any questions or want to chat about anything at all?
Mine was just going to pertain to the 1040Bs, because you guys mentioned that you could write that off 10 times for every deposit made. And I was just like, is that true?
Deposit. So I'm still, I'm the type that's very analytical, and I like to understand fully what I'm doing before I do it and why, and have my proof. So that's one thing I'm still trying to get comfortable with, the times 10. But if you think about it, when it comes to the dollar, say you make a deposit in a bank, you deposited 1/10 of what the bank is able to fractionalize and lend out from that initial deposit. Does that make sense? So for every dollar you deposit, they can lend out 9 times the amount. This is called fractional reserve lending.
Yeah, the Modern Mechanics book spoke about that.
Exactly. Modern Money Mechanics, which I could put in the actually 1099 chat too. That might be a good one for people to refer to. But that is the part of the justification. On top, Kim Maria, if you want to add to that.
I want to add this very important point right this minute, because you just explained it so eloquently. Anyone, and I have proof and successes I can show all day long about this. Anyone who went and made a payment on their credit card and the payment was returned, let's say there wasn't enough funds in the account. When you got that confirmation number at the beginning before they returned that payment, that confirmation number is your claim ticket. So anyone who's trying to pay bills with a New York Mellon, hear me clearly right now. It's the same and no different than apply, deny, collect. If you've got the confirmation number and you got proof that it was returned, that's a gateway that they're wanting to audit. And unless we report it on a B, they cannot audit the closed gateway, because using the New York Mellon routing number routes back to our Social Security unlimited credit account. They want you to report that transaction. It's no different than a canceled check, a canceled stamp. It's the same. It's a transaction that was settled. Someone got to use that barter amount, and it wasn't you. So they're catching all of these banks and these debt collectors and these agencies. And I double paid my SBA loan today using the New York Mellon. So I made sure I screenshot every step of the way. So I have my receipt. We'll see if it holds. If it holds, great. The bankruptcy, indentured trustee bankruptcy bank that's going to be paying people's claims using their social unlimited credit. The B is it's bigger than we can even imagine right now. We are helping restore and recoup from the hands of the pirates every denial or rejection or dishonor. And now we get to not only get back 12 months of those payments that we paid, but we also get to add in the payments that were returned, and we get to times that rejection or dishonor times 10. So Care Credit's going to get a free audit. And we have I Love the IRS t-shirts, and on the back it says free audits. And so I'm just saying the power really is back in our hands, and it's biblical. Somewhere in the Bible, it talks about times 7. If someone has stolen something from you, you get back 7 times 7 times 7 times 7, whatever. I think they're making it easy for us by saying times 10, because it's the fractional reserve piece that Marduk just spoke of. Because when you initiated that trust transaction, that's considered barter or like-kind exchange, credit for credit. But if you've been dishonored or the gateway's closed, you now have a way to report it on a B. We are Space Force. We are getting manna from heaven. It's no different than if you were a whistleblower and you sent in a identity theft, 3949A or whatever. You know how you can fill out a 211, and if they catch bad guys, then you can get a portion of what, you reported on the 3800. Well, this is every transaction now that we get to put on a B and instantly get back 10 times the amount. That's restitution for the dishonor. It's just beautiful when you think about it from that perspective. So thanks for the question. And Marduk, thanks for, really regurgitating it in a way that people can kind of really wrap their head around it. But I just wanted to come in with a big old gavel and go, every transaction is a trust transaction, whether it was returned or not. If that SBA loan sits for 3 or 4 days, after the third day, it's abandoned paper. But my signature is what underwrote it. I don't even have to know what they did behind the scenes. I know they're getting a free audit now. And I'm getting 10 times the amount for my effort. That is a very good proof that usury is ending. And we're moving into merit-based economy, where if Marduk sends me $50 to help me pay for my pet bill because I'm denied with Care Credit, Marduk now paid $50 to a Social Security person. He can be that if he wants to. It doesn't mean I'm going to get audited. It means if he did Cash App, let's say, that's what it said. It shows there. Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo are also transactions that you're able to do a B on. You send your teenager $100 a month for doing chores. Because you have the knowledge of the B, you get to add up $100 a month times 12, and that amount times 10 now when you file on your 1041.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I've been MIA. We know this. I got
Hi, Tiffany. Hi, Tiffany. Thank you for forgiving me, Tiffany, for my absolutely just horrible behavior. Thank you for forgiving me.
I was like, did she know who I am? Like, I was like thinking, like, what did I
She
do?
will never forget, Tiffany. She will never forget. That's for damn sure.
Oh, it's all good though. I was like, is God like against me or something? Like I went through it like emotionally for a couple of days, but I just feel like it all happened for a good reason because Kim even agreed to do a smaller group with us. And for the people who are behind or new to this, you're free to join. We're only going to have 10 at a time. So whenever you feel like you're ready to go to the other groups, you can, but we just want to keep it kind of like small so that everybody makes sure they're catching on and they can catch.
I'm jealous.
I'll post that link in there. We have 6 people so far, including myself, so we can have 4 more. And then it'll just be like a rotation. We'll get what we need and we'll get out. Is that cool with everybody?
Very cool.
All
Thank
right.
you.
So
That's
my
awesome.
question
Thank you.
is so with this B form, so if I had some rent that I had something from a previous landlord that I was recently dealing with, they sent it over to collection. So you know that I have some unpaid taxes, a lot of it. Would I be able to sneak around the B form and just get like some money now times 10? I mean sneaking around the tax debt so that they won't collect right away.
Well, if you're filing the tax return on the living trust and you're following all those instructions to a T, the person who probably has the tax debt is the social person.
Yeah, it's my tax debt. Yeah.
Yeah, so you would just want to do ESs, and I would double or triple what the amount that you owe on an ES and a V and just get that in.
Okay. And so that I will still send it to the IRS, right?
Yeah, anybody that has a bill or a charge against the sovereign gets to do ESs, and that's what settles the outstanding debt. It forces an adjustment of the accounting for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I need to just wait for the group. I'm going to send you the link too. I'm going to post it in the group. Like I said, we only have 4 more spaces open because I wanted to keep it really small so we can really get all of our questions answered and get on with the process. So I'm going to post it. Where's the best place to post it, Marduk?
Oh, any of the forums is fine. It's no worries. Yeah.
Okay.
The welcome page or wherever you're comfortable. Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
Okay. So I'll do it on the welcome page. And so, yeah, let's get this done, y'all. I'm excited.
Yeah, get that done, dude. It's the first step to a long road. You know, there's bigger and better fish to fry for sure, but having that nice cushion so you can actually focus on the other things is also key. You know, no more stress from worrying about the light bill or rent or any of that. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Kim Marie, I have a question. The other night, you mentioned something regarding to federal employees with a 00W something. You said to remind you that you'll come back to it. Can you hear me?
Yeah. That's one of the documents that we can put in the library. The W-0 would be a really good one for new people to do a readout on and have a recording of that, so people can kind of listen to it in their ear. And I can give commentary afterwards, the highlighted parts. But what that W-0 is for is anyone who has a withholding EIN or a home worker EIN or an estate EIN or an employer, even an employer EIN, where you want to have people work in the privacy of your home, your yacht, your island, what have you. You're able to use that as a certification that people that you trust are working with you, and you can 1099. You can choose how you want to pay them, just like any good shipmaster would do. You're onboarding federally privileged workers, though, versus employees. So it's a way of distinguishing between the private and the public. So does that make sense?
Yes, we will have to just look into it. So it's kind of like a W-2, but with different specifications, right?
Yeah, the
It's not just like a
W-2,
1099.
right. The W-2 is very statutory. So if you wanted to, let's say, pay your 15-year-old to actually do the chores around the house or the estate, and you wanted to pay him on a non-employee compensation like an NEC or a miscellaneous, you'd be able to do that, because that is a form where you do not have to have someone's social security number on that. You just have to have their date of birth.
So it's almost like a common law W-2.
Correct. And if you happen to hire someone that you trusted, that you vetted, that's working in your home around your babies or your family or your safe and your books and your records, if you were to bring someone on to work in the private as a commissioned officer, if they ever did anything that harmed or injured or caused a loss, you would be able to fax that to the IRS and let them know the date that person is no longer welcome in your private space, because they want to know, especially as we're going into this merit-based economy, they would want to know if someone's ever been deemed persona non grata. That's a diplomatic term. So when, let's say I had a yacht and I wanted to bring people out on a excursion and take people to an island and do fun stuff, whatever, I would need to bring on someone who, a captain who actually has a license to captain a ship, and he'd have to be bonded, and he'd have to have a crew, and I'd have to have the insurance in case anyone got injured, so that I could make people whole while they were on my private yacht, right? Well, that ship captain, if he did something that injured all of us, we would have to put a claim in with his insurance bond, right? But we'd also have a duty to report that to the IRS. And we use the same form that we onboarded him with is the same form we would report to the IRS the date that he's no longer working in that private capacity with you. Make sense?
Yes.
This is all military. All of it. All of it was created at the beginning because of the military, because of all the branches, because of all of our, we have 900 military bases across the globe, right? So we need to bring all of our resources and our skilled pilots and shipmasters, we need to bring them back home so that they can be with their families and not be at war all the time, you know?
100%.
I just have a denial from Synchrony for TJ Maxx. I think I'm going to keep this paper. I'm looking for the numbers. There's a bunch of little numbers at the bottom.
Yeah, I would just search the headquarters address, and then you would put accounting department in the description. Everything's accounting, everything's a tax.
I got a question.
What's up, brother?
Hey, last year, me and my wife bought a Nissan Rogue at the dealership, like big dummies. But anyways, we ended up getting denied credit 5 different times for each one of us. Is that going to be 10 times those 5 once I get in the trust and file those Bs?
I'm so sorry. I just walked in and got distracted by my dog seeing how he was doing. Say it one more time, sir. Sorry.
Bought a new Nissan Rogue last year at the dealership, and both our names are on it. And they denied us 5 times with 5 different credit people before we actually got one. Would that, once I get in a trust and file the Bs, would that be 10 times those 5?
Every denial, they pulled your credit and they bartered it.
Holy cow.
Yes, holy cow is right. And you have a duty now to report it because they need to get audited.
And
I'm definitely going to try to learn that for sure.
wasn't you saying the other day that it was 3 years? If it was a bank institute, I have 3 years?
No, there's no statute of limitations on fraud, my brother.
Sweet.
Oh my God, that's so awesome. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
How would I go? My wife was going through our old bills that I was supposedly going to burn. We found one of them for each one of us. How do I go about getting the other 4?
Well, you can order your, what is it?
Your Nexus Lexus report. Yep.
Nexus Lexus report you could order. You could also, you could also write to, we just don't know who owns what in Mr. Magoo anymore. We don't know what companies have been taken over. We don't know what companies have been closed down. And that's the reason why there's no statute of limitations on fraud, is so we can go back and assess our own losses. You know, your family, your grandfather can't benefit from the restoration of this republic, but he can sure do an Irish jig up there because they can see everything we're doing. So we have a duty to kind of restore our land, our property, our persons, papers, effects. And we have the knowledge now to create a really amazing future for the next 7 generations.
Yes, most
Just
definitely.
the knowledge alone, right? Just the knowledge alone. Imagine an 18-year-old learning how to actually be a really good bookkeeper. Recycling credits.
So my daughter just started working and she's 21. She wants a car like in 2-3 years. Can she do the ESs and the Vs to get monies like that? I'm not sure how that could work for her.
She has a Social Security card, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Start charging that account up with credits. It's your PIN, Alpha Omega. Begins with you and ends with you. And if you teach her, then she'll be a really good power of attorney for you or guardian for you and the family as the family, ages.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, much love.
I had a question.
What's up, brother?
How you doing, boss? I appreciate you, by the way, and Kim Marie, much appreciate you as well. You guys are showing a lot of love, and we only hope we can give as much back to you both.
Appreciate that.
Yep. I wanted to backtrack to the 1041 ESs. You're not discouraging it. You're just saying if you have urgent or you like you want things to move faster, don't make that move now. But if you have the time and you just want to set up optimally with multiple trusts in the states, wouldn't it be a good idea to go ahead and load them up and back front load and let the accounting fall where it may? We're talking about entities that are all 56s and 2040s are done, CAF number on point and things of that matter. I'm just
Really is the way to charge up the CP 575 is estimated tax payment.
right.
So yeah. The other thing that came up when you were asking, let's see, if someone has, let's see, an LLC or an old bankruptcy, even, you can assess that bankruptcy now. You can assess any, if you had, let's say you had to dissolve your company because during COVID you had to shut down. Well, you had a business bank account. So you now get to go and take those statements from your business bank account and you get to send in the ESs because you're now, it's like, think of your business going to auction and you're buying your own CP 575 back by way of credit. But you're giving it the real value or the energy that you put into it. But you're finally paying the person who ran it, even if you lost it during COVID. If you understand the nature of a receipt, then nothing's ever lost.
Right.
It's just not been assessed.
Correct.
Yeah.
So you said two things. So just for clarity, when you refer to the LLC of the thing, are you referring to the person that was maybe underpaid, or are you referring to how you can pass these credits to an Inc. or an S? Does the credits seem to apply to the SSN person or to a 1041 EIN?
Actually, it's good that you're giving that back to me so everybody can kind of hear the circle and the square here. So let's say you don't want to operate your LLC anymore, but it had some unpaid taxes, or the person yourself who is a single member, your ship got sank and you never really got to benefit from we didn't know we could pay ourselves. So you're more than welcome to make that LLC that you've now closed up shop with, make it a Benny, because the 1041 that we're creating based on the B instructions is a living trust. That means the person managing the trust, which is you, the trustee, has a right, or we're breaking the law, has to get some kind of compensation. So the trust gets forced to file a tax return so it can be the pass-through that it was designed to be for the benefit of another. And you can make that another anyone you want on the K1, any Benny, an LLC. You could, my C Corp from 2006, the last time I paid taxes on that C Corp. I get to convey that reversionary interest, $560,000 for that last tax return where we filed. That tax return, every tax return, y'all, every transcript is a document of title. You're entitled to the credits or the assessment therein. We're just being given the power now back by way of a B. This is what it looks like. Every business expense that you paid out of your business bank account gets to get a B now.
Right. And so I understand that. That's excellent. I hope everybody heard what she said. 'Cause you can go back. You can go back quite a ways. Like my sole prop EIN alone is from 1994.
Yes, hallelujah.
And so
That's
from
your
that,
king.
right, it is the king on the board.
And there's no statute of limitations on fraud. And the minute 1871, the minute they turned everything into a franchise with a DUNS number, void ab initio nunc pro tunc, from the beginning. It's why we're focusing on 2023 right now, because literally when you look at your files, you won't see the same thing anymore when you look through your files. I really think it's going to help us ascend and get closer to heaven on earth, because when you look at every piece of paper, someone put energy into that paper's existence, right? Numbers, letters, signatures. Someone produced all that. And we never knew we could pay ourselves. Fiduciaries did. Fiduciaries won't even take a job without a $50,000 retainer. Some of them are $5,000 retainer. You know those accident insurance attorneys? They say, we don't get paid until you get paid. But you better bet your bottom line they know how to get paid times 10.
The other thing I wanted to say out loud is that everyone really should look at getting their LexisNexis report. You will be amazed that like my LexisNexis report was 200 pages long, and it literally went right all the way back to my 18th. From the moment I started in the credit system, it's all there. The address, the emails, the phones, the phone numbers, everything that you can grab.
Even had your schools and shit. So weird. Yeah.
They're all accounts. So everything is an account, and every account is a wager, and every wager can be put on the B. But that's where I wanted to bring that up to. Is there any reason why you haven't talked about the A in terms of just the acquisition of that account first, and then the B to do the transaction on the bartering or the wagered amount? Or is it just
I have great successes with foreclosing, or I guess that's a word you could use, foreclosing or liquidating or terminating an account. When you have no use for something, when the moment you acquisition it, you've essentially you basically you're coming forward with an assessment. I paid off my vehicle using an A and a V and the coupon with the single payment that they send you. And I sent it to the accounting department. So I used the A, the V. That's before I received any of my tax returns because I was what they call that when you're using the A, it's what bankruptcy attorneys do all day long. Is they acquisition accounts, they convert the accounts, they transfer the accounts, they multiply the account, whatever. In bankruptcy, it's the creditors that win, and the person that files bankruptcy, our ships are dead in the water. And then for 10 years, we have no merit, no credit, right? Mm-hmm. So they've been making money hand over fist because they made sure that it's called the suppression of intelligence. They never, ever showed us how their shell game was played. Very few people were let into that game, and you had to do some pretty rotten things to get to the top of that game. So my hands are clean, my heart is pure, and my feet are clean. You know what I mean? Like I get to march into heaven right now. I could go tomorrow. So I think that that 1099As are awesome when you want to actually start to clean up and close out and be done with certain accounts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I was wanting. Yeah, I got you.
But it will close that credit line as soon as the accounting department received my instruments. I got an email about 4 days later, and what's it called? Credit Karma said, "Hey, congratulations, your credit score just went up." And I went on there and looked, and that credit line disappeared. It disappeared for 1.5 years until all this subprime mortgage and all this corruption that they've been finding out about, all these different laundering money through the high value inventory subprime market. We already know they were doing it with the prime mortgage market, but it started now with the subprime, heavy farm equipment. Okay. Very expensive. Cars, not even as expensive as a big freaking John Deere tractor, right? So, I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you want to retitle an account, let's say you've made 3 or 4 payments on the tractor, and you now want to move that collateral, that tractor itself, you want to move it into the trust. So the A could get issued along with the affidavit of truce, where you're asking the accounting department to retitle the account into the name of the trust. So now that your trust is responsible for settling that accounting, now that we have access to the B, our job is going to be so much easier. Because before it was a lot of back and forth letters before they would actually retitle your account, because they didn't want to lose the accounts payable. That credit line gets swiped because it's like a reverse mortgage. It's a foreclosure on their accounting. So does that make sense? So there's times when the A is just beautiful, when you're really wanting to simplify and clean things up. Yeah. And I would, and a couple things, I actually did the A, and I went online and I just filled out the copy online, where I didn't have to do the paper or the electronic filing. What I did was I just filled it out. So I had a receipt, printed it out online, and then I sent it to the accounting department that had interest in my credit line. And I would endorse it on the back with just my signature. I didn't even worry about doing, Benny and all that stuff, because I'm the bank. So I was always acting with authority. And I always, my A's always got honored, because it was like, instead of reporting it to the IRS, creating a taxable event for them, I gave them an opportunity to settle the matter through arbitration, which is how wealthy people do it, right? We don't want to cause a liability for someone. we'd rather just it's a wash, right? It's a like-kind exchange, you could say. I gave you my signature, so I gave you credit. You got to use my credit, so it's a like-kind exchange, right? So I get to terminate that contract or account whenever I want. Now we get to do the B's, and we get to not only close it out, but we get to get 10 times the amount. Who's going to need to go get credit anymore? We're going to go pay cash for the tractor.
Yeah, and just for people knowing that the 10 times number is really it's so low that it's not even gonna it's not even gonna awake anything. It's not gonna change anything, and you can scrape the 10 whatever forever, and because those securities are being fractionally fractional lending, but they're fractionally sold. So there are hundreds of accounts, and then they get 900% when they first go to the OID window. That's the first thing that they do. They get paid there from the window. So that won't even cover the first draft that they got.
Well, I tell you one thing, if their hands are unclean and they've stolen from one person $600 or more, or they interfered in the election, or they took a bribe, or they violated any of our rights, they did not give us full disclosure, whatever, they will not be Basel III compliant, and they will not get to go forward into the new era with all of us. And all of us marching soldiers right now that are pinging the system every time we file report. We are helping literally rescue this country because we are all the creditors in the bankruptcy. It's just, if you think about it, there's just not enough administrators on the planet that could service all of our claims. So it literally has been put back in our hands to service our own claims. It's genius.
And it's a full-time job too.
Well, it is. I mean, it is. We're just going to be project builders. As soon as we get liquidity, we're going to be building a better future for our kids. We're going to not have to be bogged down or bothered by time or money. Clear what I was waiting for.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. More, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How you doing?
Hi.
Oh,
Good. How are you?
Anyway, I'm good. I'm actually going through a situation with my tax advocate where she's asking me to substantiate the times 10 amount on my B. And
I already told you this, bro. We talked about this.
We did. But I just wanted Kim's thoughts on this.
All right. Kim, he went to a TAS office and...
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So is it B, Wade?
Yes.
I want to know your thoughts on it.
Well, I'm standing on my square. And
No. I want to know your thoughts on it. What say you about the barter times 10?
What are my thoughts on it? That's what I'm entitled to because of my checking deposits.
Because of your checking deposits?
Yes.
Okay, so is she looking at a B that you already filled out, or are you asking her to fill out the B?
No, she's looking at a B that I already filled out. She seems confused about why I'm entitled to that times 10.
Okay, so who's the payer on the B? Who's the payer she's seeing on the B for? Just real quick.
I have to look at it. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, I just need to know who's the payer, and who received the proceeds. because there's a proceeds box and then there's a barter box. And we have to make sure we're reading the instructions really well. In fact, that person at the TAS office could use a nice scroll of 5 pages with a ribbon around it. And I love the IRS sticker. You feel me? Because let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about the TAS offices, folks. Everything's moving to AI. Those people are going to be out of a job in a year. Won't you feel much better if you knew that you gave her a scroll?
And they don't know anything. I'm just telling you.
No.
They know nothing.
And they deserve to not have to work there too. So that's why they said on the last page, do not gatekeep. We don't know whose life we're actually going to save by giving them this information.
It's funny that she said, well, can't we all do this? And I said, yes, if you know the information. And she was like, well, I could be doing this.
Right? Right?
Crumble them from the inside out, bro. Let's get
You
it.
guys, we're all going to have to be wearing sunglasses in the next 6 months. It's going to get so bright in here.
I think her question was, how do you see yourself as worthy? I think she was trying to figure it out. I think that's beautiful. I think this is a beautiful story. I just wanted to put that out there. It's that self-worth thing. That's what I think, she was dealing with. And I think you may have been. Go ahead.
She said she's been there since 1998. She's never seen this.
Oh my God. You literally are an angel that she just laid eyes on.
Well, most of the time we've had to be this is already like scary for people. So going to the IRS and like actually showing them what you're doing is usually not something people want to do, So yeah, I wouldn't doubt, like, you're not the first to do it. They don't see the 1099Bs that come in to them. Lots of people are doing this right now. But you're probably one of the very few that brought it to their live person's face. Because like Kim said, it's not even going to AI. It already is. It says it on the IRS's website that most of our tax returns and Form 56s, whatever it is, they're all scanned by a computer. They don't, the OIDs, the 1099Bs, Cs, they don't go to human hands.
Well,
they go to a computer.
She said they can't see them. It's like they don't exist. That's what she told me.
Exactly.
So she wanted to pass them over. But I felt like she was fishing for information. That's what this.
Of course.
Give her the scroll, brother.
Give her the scroll, baby.
It's in the vault. Step 2.
Our task office here in Houston is always closed.
What?
TAS, our task office, TAS, is always closed here. Every time I've tried to go, it's been closed. So I just go to the TAC and I call the TAS office number, their 800 number that gives you information. And they're like, well, I don't know why it's closed. They're supposed to be open Monday through Friday.
Wait, one of them's a tax assistance center and the other one's tax advocate services?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's the difference?
Our tax advocate service, the tax advocate service is like if you're having tax issues, you need assistance with taxes and things like that, you can go there and they're supposed to advocate for you and assist you with your tax issues. Well, with the things that we're dealing with, the people there don't know, because there was a class that I watched where people went and had assistance getting their bills paid. And
yeah, I saw that with the negotiable instruments.
Yeah. And somebody bought a house and different things. And, you know, we go, they're looking at, well, our office here closed, and other offices, they're like, huh?
May I? TAS is private. They're on, if I'm not mistaken, the Federal Reserve side. So they're dealing with the bigger numbers. That's why they tell you they're private. And then the TAC, they're on the public side. So anything you're dealing with the TAC is $100,000 and under. And if it's over $100,000, you want to ask for a supervisor. But some of them you have to ask for a supervisor right away, because I've had that experience. And when the supervisor came out, again, they ask you, who told you you had the right to do this? Or who,
The
they ask
IRM.
questions. Yeah, but I was taught not to answer their questions. You give them a letter of intent and you refer them to that letter. And that's how
That's
I
smart.
dealt with it. And she
Keep your
read
paper
that
trail.
letter. Yep. And she went there. And when she came, she was like a militant at first. But then when she came back out, she came out smiling at me and gave me a lot of respect. So sometimes it's just our approach. We don't know how they're going to respond to us. And sometimes it's fear. But because I had someone really break that part down to me, and I just want to say gratitude again. I just wanted to put that out there. But TAS, you'll be referred to through the TAC depending on what you're doing. And you can also use that 911 and let them know if you're having what they call it, financial hardship. And a lot of times they will work with you a lot faster. So I just wanted to put that out there. TAC is public, TAS is private.
Beautiful. And we got to remember that like these guys don't know. They are compartmentalized on purpose. They are not. We can't always think, oh well, these know they're just trying to like not honor my stuff, or they're just trying to make me like look like a fool and act like they don't know what I'm talking about. That a lot of the times when you call the IRS agents, you get a different answer half the time from every single one when you're asking them questions. Like they all don't know everything. They all only know a little bit of everything, and it's kept that way for a reason. But sorry, who was going to speak?
That was
Wait,
me.
did you get your
Working that 911 form, that tax advocate, she's the one asking all these questions.
Well, if they ask you, brother, remember when you messaged me, what was that, yesterday or the day before, and I sent you exactly from the instructions on the barter, because I told you I was being honest. I'm trying to convince myself when it comes to the times 10 too. I understand. I like having something to substantiate my claims from their words. But like when you read the box 13 instructions for
It's gonna rip your service.
well, I'm going to mute you. I'm sorry. When you read that box 13 instructions from the 1099B instructions, it explains to you any proceeds made off of a security or something along the lines of that. And when you give an application, when you open a bank account or your credit card, you just gave them an application that they hypothecate and then they sell over and over. And then your deposits that you make, especially for credit card companies, they securitize, they sell it to a trust, and they pool them and they sell them over and over and over, your debt obligation. So many dollars, probably way more than $10 per dollar you give them is being, they're making a lot more than times 10. I think this is just, we're going to the principle of fractional reserve lending and what we do have in writing, what the banks are allowed to do. And if you want to quote the Federal Reserve of Chicago 1913 bulletin or 1916 bulletin, or the book Modern Money Mechanics, that came out, that was published by the Federal Reserve, and they tell you exactly that every dollar you lend, they can lend out times 9, and 9 plus the initial deposit is 10. So just be like, that's under my understanding, Miss. All these are financial institutions, and they have the power to, fractionally reserve lend my money or hypothecate and create many more dollars out of my single dollar deposit. So that's where I'm justifying that. If there is a better way for me to get an accurate number, if you guys, if the IRS offers some sort of auditing service, please let me know. I'd be happy to operate with clean hands, something like that, whatever.
As well.
Go ahead.
And to answer Kim's question, I'm the payer on the B.
Your social.
Yes.
And then the recipient on that particular B is who?
The bank.
Good. What's in the description box?
The description box have to pull it back up again. So signature exchange for funds access.
Funds excess.
Yes.
No,
Okay, and then
excess with E. So I
yeah,
know it's access, and I know that sounds weird, excess, but me and Kim Marie went to the freaking legal dictionaries and made it connect, and that's what's written in the guide. So we're going to stick with signature
excess,
exchange for funds excess. And
which
in
is
banking, it
basically a
has
nice word. It's a nice description of fractional reserve banking.
right.
And then is there $30 in the box like the instructions notated?
No, I only have the
30,000.
bottom.
Yeah, so there should be a proceeds amount, and then there should be a $30,000 amount. So I would just refer you back to the 5 pages and just go through each step and check it off to see what you've already completed. And that's where I would start.
Okay.
I believe the CUSIP number is your social, and so yeah, just follow through before you start putting a lot of time and energy into a bunch of other ones, so that the B will make sense. It's actually for fuel, by the way, also unused fuel or fuel use, which is when you use the word fuel.
I
The
didn't do the
EFT.
fuel. I didn't do the fuel because here that's withholding people.
Well,
Only farmers are entitled to that.
no,
Well,
hold on a
isn't
second. Yeah,
energy fuel, and isn't
hold,
energy money backed by energy? I mean,
Wait, hold on, you guys. Yes, it's all that too, but I want you to look up the definition of excise tax real quick for me.
sure. Like IRS definition?
Just Google excise tax defined.
Any excise tax, any of various taxes levied on the production or sale of certain goods, especially on luxuries, tobacco, alcohol, etc. A tax that is measured by the amount of business done.
So basically, what they didn't tell us, and what nobody knew, unless you read, and you're reading now, that basically every single dollar exchanged in every trust transaction is an excise tax, and it is by nature credited back to the user of it. Because you're using a bank account and you have proof on your ledger that you actually transacted $1 or more in commerce, that justifies 10 times the amount. So the 12 months, first of all, because a trust operates in a fiscal year, and then 10 times back is your restitution for the fraud upon the man. And when I say man, I mean mother, father, child, the family, the fraud upon the family. This is generational theft. You got to think about that for a minute. There's many women who are widows. Many of their husbands did not come back from fighting oil, contract, Luciferian wars. We have a duty to get these reparations back. If you do nothing else but help your community with that money, you've helped the whole world start to heal. Because we haven't gotten the scroll to the lady who's a widow and her husband never came back from Iraq. You feel me?
Should
And
our theme
everybody
song be Heal the World by Michael Jackson?
oh,
I
I
love
mean, you
that
know,
song.
yeah. I mean,
That's
we
us.
I mean, if we can get these scrolls out to these retired veterans, do you know their suicide rate, folks? It's off the charts. And it's not just because they're getting old. It's because there's a disturbance in the force, right? So this feels like the biggest humanitarian mission I could ever be a part of. As soon as I finally read those instructions on the 1099B, and then because of my testing the system for so long, and I've been keeping really amazing books and receipts for so long, I was the timing of the ESs coming out. All of a sudden, I come out of nowhere sharing with people about the ESs. The 1099B comes out about less than 2 weeks ago for me. You all got access to it, but wow, thank you, awesome for doing it. And then the New York Mellon comes out. Now you guys got to understand, back in 2008, when the bank was crashing, when all the bail-ins were happening, we were using the Federal Reserve first 2 digits that the letter created, and we were penetrating the system back then. I just didn't have the distinction. A refusal is set off. Now it's an obligation under HGR 192 to get back the loss dollar for dollar. Now we're being given a scroll 10 times the amount after you add up the 12 months. Wow. I mean, I'm in reverence still.
Quick question. Do you have to do the 1099B for each transaction, or do you sum it up?
You get to do it for as many. They give an example of accounts on page 3, I think it is. Electricity bill, bank accounts, food stamps. Every transaction is considered a proceed. Think of it like a proceed to keep the marketplace going, right? The marketplace where you spent the proceeds. You were the issuer. You were the original issuer of those proceeds, and you have a receipt to show it. You're not some trust fund baby that decided to go buy a bunch of, really expensive cars and offshore your bank account and your cars. You and I bought bread here, stateside, right? So you get to choose how many Bs you want to do. And then you're going to total those up, where you're going to manually enter those when you file your 1041. So the AI is going to calculate it all for you. That's why in the instructions, she says, yes, the green number is what you're going to get back. So I really would recommend y'all read through the instructions. Just do a one read through out loud to yourself, maybe in the mirror, or read it to someone and have someone read it to you. I call this level of navigating. It's so much light that we're the only one that are keeping from ingesting the Orman or what? How do you say it again?
Ormus.
Ormus? Is it called? Oh yeah, Ormus.
Ormus with an S. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So we're not just reading an instruction page, we're reading light, truth, justice, and equity. And everybody gets to kind of journey through that at their own pace. That's why it's so helpful for us to do it in the Socratic method that we're doing it, because we're able to learn faster when we're able to share our insights or share our thoughts about something, because it'll trigger someone else light bulb to go off, or they'll connect a dot or two. I still, in reading it, I'm picking up something new that I literally have to tomorrow, before I go to the post office, I'm going to go through every single line now, and I'm going to check mark, but I'm going to look in my mind's eye, in my third eye, and I'm charging that package with all of my consciousness, which once I've gone through, and that's what they asked you to do. They asked you to go ahead and check mark after you complete each step. And there's a reason for that, because our ego that likes to, it likes to bounce things around. It tries to drive, and it forgot that the master in the carriage is the owner of this vessel, not the thinker. So sometimes we just overthink, or we're letting the ego think for us rather than reading it with our heart. When you're trying to take in a language, you got to kind of listen with your heart rather than what you think a word means. So just a little help there for folks. They actually say it, and maybe everybody missed it like I did the first time I read it, but she actually says, check mark each step as you go. And that's going to cause a breakthrough for us. It's not just how fast can you get the process in the mail. It's, do you want to ascend and supercharge that package? This is a sacred act that we're doing, on top of assisting as volunteers, special operations. We're assisting every single CID agent that cannot seize the records, acquisition the company, audit the company, cannot trespass until there's been an injury or a harm. And just by you reporting 1B is pulling the curtain back on the suppression of intelligence, which is actually fraud and theft on the high seas. And all of us that are on this call right now have been stolen from, and we're still not even able to really think about this, really think about it. If you were stolen from and you just found out that you were stolen from, normally we would go and do a police report. So if you're the bank and some bank robbers came in and stole your safe, and that safe, what was in there was, however many customers a bank has, you're not really going to be able to just make a police report. You actually have to account for the losses, the injury, the harm, the time that your company was down while it was getting all of its records back up or whatever. I mean, we're the bank that they've been stealing from. We're just
Now
not
we
getting
make a
to talk
tax
about
report. No
That's
police
exactly.
reports, just tax reports.
Exactly. That's right. That's the difference. You're right. Thank you for underlining that. We really did forget that we're the gold. We are the gold.
The
The
commodity.
commodity.
And now
Yep.
we're the auditors. We're the auditors as well.
Yeah.
We're just, you know, I don't want to say snitching, you know, we're just,
Standing
okay, yeah,
out.
I guess it's snitching, but I mean, whatever. People are getting over on us. We just report them like we're supposed to. Good little accountants, like Kim Marie says,
I feel like it's
balancing the
more like
books.
standing our grounds as solvents because we never asked to come to this planet, you know. We never asked to come and work and do all the things and be a mule and be a slave.
Yeah,
I don't think that's what my God intended for me. Do
I say
you?
that every day. No, mm-mm.
Yeah.
We're literally like, you think about what life is, and then, you know, you just got me stuck here stressing about bills. We got all this crazy, amazing stuff all around us, you know? Like, no. You're going to be in a cubicle for 40 hours a week? No.
No. Because
Well,
first of all, a lot of us, we're
and
supposed
then
to
two
be
15s and a 30-minute lunch. You got to scarf down, and God forbid you got to leave the building to go
God
get
forbid
it.
you got to go to the bathroom. God,
Come
you got to
on
get a
now.
break.
Our God brought us here for a purpose. We all have a purpose, and we're supposed to be deciding and feeling for ourselves. Like we're not just supposed to just slave for someone else. We have like a purpose for this planet. We're not born just to be slaves. We have something that we're supposed to accomplish in our lifetime.
Yep, that's right. And I wanted to stop. DeCarla, did I cut you off earlier? I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. It wasn't you.
Okay. I'm
It
sorry.
was
It's
no, it wasn't you. It was somebody else, and it's just irritating because it's like I'll be in the middle of saying something and I just get cut off, and that's just a personal pet peeve of mine because I let everybody I do my best to let everybody finish their thoughts and finish their sentences, and then I just get cut off in the middle of what I'm saying, and then
No, I understand. I'm sorry. I mean, it's hard on here too because we don't have the raise hand feature. So that's something we should all try to be a little more mindful of, guys. Just make sure someone else has finished speaking because we all know how annoying it is when someone cuts you off, you know?
I was talking about we were talking about AI replacing them, and I was just saying how I think it's already starting in the TAS office. And because our office here is never open, and then next thing you know, the sister come in and just totally cuts me off and just takes over. Don't say excuse me, don't say nothing. And I'm like, that's just rude. And that's not what we were actually talking about. Somebody did ask a question, which I was answering, but you just don't cut somebody off. And that's a pet peeve of mine.
Well, my apologies on their behalf to Carla. I don't know who, but just remember, guys, yeah, we all want a chance to speak. I get it, but make sure they're done speaking before you do. Appreciate it.
May I
Did
ask
any?
a question?
Yeah, please.
I wanted to, because I didn't hear the beginning, in regards to New York Melon, and I kind of wanted to hear Kamari's, take on that since it seems to be floating on TikTok and, over here as well. I just wanted to get her ideas, her thoughts on it.
Kim Marie, are you there, friend?
Yes. And I hope I wasn't the one that cut you off, DeCarla. If I did, I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't you.
Okay.
And if you cut me off, you're always welcome to cut me off.
I have to be careful because I will forget the train of thought too when I get interrupted. So you're right. I get it. We just got to be mindful. We just got to lay it at the Father's feet. Be anxious for nothing. It's all coming. The question was,
the Bank of New York Mellon thing that you brought up. She's
Okay.
just wondering, like, the whole thing with that and what you think about it.
Yeah. So any closed account, and this is in USC under negotiable instruments. It's searchable and findable for some people that might be new, though. It is a thing in banking that
UCC. Yeah.
UCC. Yep.
Yep.
And any routing and account number that you choose to use, I've tested so many. Every time you use a routing and an account number, you're looking at different results. Someone who's just paying regular on their credit card every month, on time, it's on auto pay. The bartering is still happening in the background, whether the payment goes through and settles or not. If it doesn't settle or go through or gets returned or you notice that when you use it to pay, they're happy as a clam to post it and give you a wonderful acknowledgement number, confirmation, acknowledgement, confirmation, acknowledgement. So my credit got used, whether they return it or not.
So it's not illegal to do that. I guess someone was wondering.
No, closed accounts are for set off and settlement. Think about it like this. It's bankruptcy law. Okay. I don't want to bring up my situation again, but a lot of people may not know what happened for me. Before I knew that the accounts were frozen, I had given my savings account routing number and savings account number to some of my close associates to help them make their car payments. Well, they let me know a few days later that they had been returned. So now I had to go investigate. What in the world? Well, that was the way that I found out that the Security and Fraud Division had frozen my accounts because of suspicious activity. No, not suspicious activity, but because of a supposed $2.3 million bill that I had at the IRS, and the state agent here had sent it wasn't even an actual certified mail envelope, y'all. It had like a printed certified on it, not a sticker. And it had the, what is that red stamp through it? What is it called?
Oh, like the canceled, the date stamps?
No. When it comes red, it's actually, it's metered mail.
Oh, yeah, where they print on the postage, basically.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that was covering the certified, which cancels out the certified. So they sent that crap to the Security and Fraud Division and had them freeze my accounts. Who is the Security and Fraud Division supposed to believe? The IRS agent or their customer? Where's their loyalty? Well, most customers can't afford to sue a bank for stealing their money. So the point I'm saying is those got returned. What is my job as a trustee to get back those credits that tax return was deposited in the Benny's bank account? My job as the trustee, if funds were stolen from my Benny, I need to get those funds back. So I had to file a suspicious activity report and turn in both of those actors along with an 8300 to tell the IRS and the tax inspector general exactly how much I had deposited in there and how many bank accounts I had. 7 accounts there. So I had to be transparent. I had to show my records. I had to send my affidavit of truth notarized because a living person just got injured. He didn't send me the bill. Why did he send it to the bank? You think they had a little interest in that 1.8? I think they did. The cartel's just literally 30 miles south, the border. So anyway, the point is a legitimate freezing of my account so I couldn't pay one of my employees' car payments is a loss. It's no different than me using New York Mellon with my social. I get a confirmation number that it posted, and 3 or 4 days later, I look and they return it and charge me a dishonor fee. Let's say, if that happened with New York Mellon, right? I'm saying that when you understand the nature of a receipt and the nature of a transaction and that there's nothing but charges, there's negatives and positives in this commercial climate that we're in. Debits and credits, debits and credits, debits and credits. They've just learned how to double dip, triple dip, fractionalize. I mean, it just goes on and on. So I guess what I want to say about that is whenever I've used EFTPS to make a federal tax payment, I've always put the bank account, like I had a non-interest bearing at Chase last year. And I went and I made many tax deposits based on the tax returns that I was filing. A transfer tax, like a conveyance of interest into the trust to pay the back wages that was due to me that I filed on the return in order to create the receipt so that I could get the overpayment. And the banker had shown me that she just kind of turned the ledger towards me so I could see it. And she said, just wanted to make sure you're aware of, she didn't say anything. She wanted just me to see it. And I saw, because I know that I paid my federal tax payments, but it was only on the credit side. It never overdrafted my bank account. It was a federal tax payment, which is an excise tax, which is what you read, Marduk. I'm performing. I'm producing. I'm hitting the keys, right? I'm generating the confirmation number and the acknowledgement number, which is my receipt. Whether it gets settled, whether it gets posted, whether it gets returned, whether it gets dishonored or rejected, I still have the receipt.
So let me ask you this. Would you do like a promissory note or was
Beautiful. Beautiful.
56F naming that particular bank and send it to the Treasury that way, cover your COB, cover your butt sort of thing? And I'm just asking, I don't know. I just need some wisdom, your expertise on it.
Well, okay. So if CID was listening right now, and they are, what people need to comprehend is that you got a CP 575 issued to you so you could do business in commerce from the trust known as Cincinnati. Okay, that's the headquarters that manages all the trusts, EINs, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that the CP 575 has credit on it the minute it's issued. That's why they only give you one copy. You know that that's a check, right?
Sam, I just found out like a couple weeks ago.
Okay. So there's credits in that on the private side of all of the CP575s. How do we know? Because if I needed to go pay a hospital bill for someone, one of my employees or whatever, one of my business partners, I could take any one of my EINs, ask them for the invoice for the bill. The employer, the owner, the grantor, the trustor, executor, right? The signor gets to go ask for the accounting. I want to pay the bill so that my business partner doesn't have to pay it, and I want to pay it out of the business account. Oh no. Oh gosh. Hold on a second.
You okay?
He's in pain when he gets up. We just don't know what's wrong.
Oh no.
We
Your
don't.
pup?
We're waiting to hear back from the. Oh. We're waiting to hear
Kimry,
back from the radiologist.
do you
No, I
need,
got to
you
keep
don't,
my mind off of it. No, you don't
okay.
understand. I've been crying
I do.
all
I
day.
understand. No, it's good to keep busy.
He's just readjusting himself and it hurts. So he's laying next to me right now. I'm just petting him.
Oh.
Okay. So now I can go pay a hospital bill with a CP575. Why? Because the hospital is able to take credits from another business. It's like exchanging W-9s and doing the tax right there. I'm granting them permission to use the credit off of this EIN, and they just have to give it to their accountant so the accountant can file the proper return to get the credit, to pull the credit. Right? So I'm instead of just giving them a W-9 and telling them to bill me, which a lot of people can't afford a hospital bill when they leave. They usually do have to get billed, but I'm settling it before my person leaves the hospital, let's say. So that's how we know that there's credit on that EIN.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if there's debt, there's also credit, right?
So, but I have a job as the owner trying to keep my operations going. I have a job as the owner to file and get those credits back into the payroll accounting so that I can keep my business running.
Right.
So, right. So I have to report it, record it, expense it, do ESs. Businesses do ESs quarterly. What do you expect to come in? What's your inflows expected to be? And then normally we would calculate whatever the amount of the tax bracket is. We would calculate, okay, 12%. Let's estimate that, my inflows is going to increase by about 50%. So I'm going to cover my account, my business account. I'm going to cover it with, it's almost like putting in a savings account so that you can actually use the tax you paid as an expensable event. That's what a lot of business people never were taught. We were always taking out of our labor money or our proceeds that were coming in and paying as minimal tax as possible because we didn't realize tax is the one excise tax that you get back dollar for dollar when you actually have the CPA file your taxes for you. But most of the CPAs are trying their hardest to have you pay as little as possible. But if you were going to be a really good functioning budgeting business, you would stow away a third of what's coming in the door. It's the old rule of pay yourself first. But we never thought of paying taxes as actually paying ourselves later.
Kimberly.
You know? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm worried about you. I feel like you should just relax and lay down. And
Yeah, I am. I think he's going to go and eat. Oh, nope. He's coming back now. Yeah, I want to head out right now. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody.
Love and
thank
Oh, you're
light.
you.
dropping off, Kimberly?
Yeah, I think I'm going to head out because he's kind of up. He might be eating for the first time today, which will be really great. I just all we know right now is that when they did the sonogram, that his gut is full of gas and he's in pain. So it's like he's got a really bad stomach ache, and it's just really strange because
Yeah.
Marie,
yeah,
we've had this problem with our pit bull a couple times.
yeah,
Something similar, not exactly that problem, but something very similar. And what we ended up doing was we boiled up some chicken
yeah.
and didn't give him the chicken, just give him the broth. And
Okay,
maybe if he starts drinking that broth, maybe throw a few chunks of food in there and
okay,
slowly add the food to it. And it was the liquids, but it's like getting into a system, right?
great. Yeah,
And our dog slowly started releasing the gas. It's not pleasant, I'll tell you that.
yeah,
It's very, very stenchful, but
yes.
we've had to do it 3 times. So
Okay, that's
hopefully
really good to know.
You have
will.
older dogs?
Yeah, he's older. Baby, they were saying
Is his dogs older though?
Yes, my pit bull's 9.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna head out. Someone called to give us some stuff, and that's a really good tip. Thank you. He's up for the first time since he got the sedative today. So
That's good. At
oh,
least he's walking.
Kim, I just want
Hey,
to
if
say
you,
something to you.
yeah,
Take care of yourself, babe.
yeah.
Take care of yourself.
I've been
And
crying all day today. So
Ah,
mm,
and
we're
sometimes you
praying
need to
for
cry.
you.
Crying
yeah,
is a healthy thing.
yeah.
Take care of yourself.
Thank you so much. I will. I
Take
will
care,
actually take
Kimberly.
that advice right now.
and if you need to call
Thank
me
you,
at
girl.
any time, just call me. Okay, I'm more than happy to chat. If you're yeah, I'm always here to talk.
Thank you, everybody. I just love everybody so much. I can't wait for us to all be on a big love boat together.
Take care of yourself.
Oh,
Pray.
Bye
Love
bye.
you guys.
And
Oh my
love
God.
you.
Apply. Deny. Collect. Okay.
There we go.
All right. Blessings, everybody.
All
All
right,
glory
have
to
a
the
good
Most
night.
High.
to the Most
We'll
High,
talk to
babe.
you soon.
To the Most High.
Everybody, so if you haven't had a chance yet, please go into the welcome chat or any of the other chats. I posted the link to the vault with all the documents and videos. I'll be uploading some more meetings, including this one, in there from now on. Nothing else is going to be posted in the regular group, just for organization's sake. You guys can forward stuff out of there. So if you want to chat about something in the main group, just send it over there and, ask questions or whatever. I just want to keep it sort of organized. So everything new will be easily found and everything new is going to be there from now on. Okay.
Thanks, Marduk. We appreciate you.
Of course. Did anybody have anything else? I might wrap it up here soon. So if you guys, do you have any questions or anything at all? Yes.
Hey Mardu, this is Brittany. I want to say something before I got off of here. I want all of us to really understand and take into account what we're doing here. This thing is spiritual, okay? And I want everybody, I don't care who you believe in, Muhammad, Jesus, Buddha, whatever. I want you guys to spiritually protect yourselves because this is spiritual. Life is spiritual. And when we're going after these things and putting ourselves in our right standing in our position, the enemy, right? Spiritual forces, principalities, powers, and rulers of darkness of this wicked, evil world are going to come up against you. These are things that are not seen,
the unseen world is more real than what we are seeing here today with our physical eyes. So I just want to let everybody know, make sure that you are covering yourself spiritually, protecting yourself spiritually, because the enemy of our souls is going to launch every attack that you can think of. This is why and I wanted to tell her this before she got off, but I was running around this house trying to shut down my house for tonight. You guys make sure that you're doing that, because none of this stuff is going to be happening for no reason. When things are going to come at you, they're coming at you because you are putting yourself in position to completely break out of the Matrix. Just go back and watch the movie The Matrix. You'll see how much Neo literally had to fight once he began to understand who he was. Who you are, the one, okay? And there are going to be agents that are going to be coming after you with everything, not in a physical sense, but in a spiritual sense. So cover yourselves, you guys. That's all I wanted to say. I yield. Have a good night. I'm out.
Amen. All right. Good night. Thank you so much.
Marduk,
Yes.
so I'm looking in the welcome group. Did you post the links yet?
Yeah.
They're in the links in several.
They're pinned at the top. So if you click the top pin, you just got to scroll up because people talk in the welcome chat a lot. But any of the other chats, I put them in all of them. So it would be the last link I put. It says, please join the Come Out of Her My People vault to get access to our documents and videos easily.
The pin?
Did you find it?
Oh, well,
The pinned.
Okay.
Yeah, if you click the pinned message at the top of the chat, I'll just post it again here in the welcome chat. I know you sneaky people are going to send this out to your friends that aren't in the group. So if you decide to do that, that I guess is fine. I can't really keep track of that. I'm really wanting to keep the group like this for now because one, I'm tired. I'm tired right now. Two, it's hard to manage when there's a lot of people. Three, there's going to be people coming in that don't want. I've had people in our old group literally like agents or some shit, and I don't want that.
Yeah.
It's just very hard.
See it though, Marduk.
I just posted it again in the welcome chat. It's a Telegram link right below DeCarla's message.
Oh, okay. I see it now. Okay.
So I hope you guys understand. I'm getting flooded with messages every day trying to ask people asking, can I bring my friend here? Can I bring my friend here? No. For now, no. You're going to teach your friend everything we're learning. Okay. If your friend wants to look at the documents in the vault, sure, there's videos in there too. That's fine, I guess. Just don't hand it out like candy because I don't want the wrong people looking at what we're doing. I really don't. Once you learn this and you're comfortable in this, you share that with whoever you want and teach them, and then have them teach the next people and have them teach the next people. But 200 people right now is for, a couple people to manage, mostly just, actually I have my friend DeCarla and Magic helping, but it's a lot, guys. So soon, once y'all are, feeling comfortable and competent in handling your affairs and understand the information, I'll probably ask if any of you have recommendations of people to bring in, and then we can do that. But for now, I apologize. I just want to keep everyone safe and comfortable, and I want it to be a environment where we can, learn easily and not just have people all over the place and someone just starting out and someone, we're already just getting it balanced out in terms of knowledge, which I love. While I'll be on the same place, we can move to the next thing. So I appreciate your understanding. And yeah, DeCarla, were you going to say something? You unmuted for a second.
No, that was on accident. Sorry.
No, you're good. Anybody else have any questions or
This is Elisa.
comments?
This is Elisa. I just want to say thank you for all that you do. And I'm going to give you a word of advice. I know you're not going to take it because I watch how you operate and you do want to help everyone. But I will say it is our responsibility to teach those in our circle. And so there are several friends of mine who have asked, what groups are you in? And I don't share that with them because I know they aren't ready. And
Sure.
rather than have them come in the group and be completely lost, I would rather introduce to them what I know they're ready for and work with them personally. And I can speak like the Carla and I, we, chat outside of this group, and we met in this group, to be quite honest. But I do feel the sense of entitlement. I see it in the comments. And I just hope that we all respect that. I mean, these are people with their own lives. The people that are in our circle should be our responsibility to bring up to the level and to not expect someone else to be responsible. I do, the videos that we are allowed to share, I will share them with them outside of the group. And I have discussions with them about those videos, and I walk them through different, like today I trained 3 people on the ESs. But I just wanted to say, let's take the burden off of off of him. And Marduk, you got to put your damn foot down. I yield.
I do. No, honestly, there's so many people asking, like, even people I know off TikTok personally, like, that are saying, well, like, can you just, is there room? I'm telling people I know and hang out with no right now, even. I don't want y'all to think that just because I don't know you, I'm telling you no. Like, everybody's getting the same answer. You guys can see when I add people in the welcome chat, it'll say Marduk invited whoever, so it's just to be fair, this is where it's at right now. Y'all are fully competent in teaching them and share the videos with them. And this is just for now. Once we're all at a good place and I got a bunch of teachers in here, yeah, we'll bring some more people in and you guys can help them out with the questions and all that, But right now, let's get our revocable trust set up, start studying the B. You got your vouchers out. Once you're on your feet, then we'll do that. We'll grow and we'll get this information out there. I'm still going on TikTok live and explaining it to people, like getting people's feet wet a little bit. And you can do the same thing. Even Esol, awesome guy on TikTok. I FaceTimed him today just to explain him this. And he's a Patrick Divine freak, really brilliant guy. But I'm not going to add him right now either because I've been telling people no. So, don't think I'm being unfair. I'm doing this in my own, practice as well. I'm not gonna.
Oh, I don't think you're being unfair, but you do have 200 different energies in that group. That's a lot
Yeah.
to manage. And so when I say put your foot down, I think into a sense, I know we want to spread it out wide and large, but it doesn't do anybody any I think any justice to overwhelm the people who are trying to, to help. And I just want you to honor yourself first.
I appreciate that. No. So I really do. I love all you guys. Did anybody have any last thing? I'm going to have this recording in the vault as well, so we can go back. There was a lot of good questions asked today. For those of you who need to brush up on the ESs and the Vs, I even put the endorsement in the vault too. And then we went over all that at the beginning of this call. There wasn't that many people here, but just check it out if you need a visual and a further explanation on that. Anybody else anything for today?
Yeah, just one more thing.
Sure.
No, I better not. There's gonna be a smart ass thing. I better shut up.
What? You're good, bro. What is it?
I was gonna say, hey, you want to give me a quick step by step?
Is the money in the back negative? No, just keep it simple, guys. You got
Hey, brother,
this.
Esau might be a good one to bring in to help, but
I'm gonna.
I get it.
No, I just don't want to be unfair to everybody else. And I don't want people to feel like I'm picking and choosing. I made it a point myself. I gave them the whole rundown on my own today. And that's what I want you guys to do with your friends. Give them the whole rundown, give it about a week or two though. And yeah, I think when we get a lot of these, not gurus, but really proficient people who have been in this space for a long time, it would be beneficial to Kim Marie as well, because it's just not everybody asking her and her being the thinker of the group. Like a lot of us are already helping, so I would imagine getting more proficient people in here would do us some good. But I'm just going to give it some time, and we'll open it back up. I'll ask you guys for your recommendations or referrals. All right.
On that note, much
Marduk,
love, my brother.
Marduk,
Yes.
if you don't mind, when you keep on referring to the B and read over the B, are you talking about the 2023 instructions for Form 1099B?
Yes.
And you said 5 pages?
Oh, no. So Kim Marie has the Claim Your Credits guide, which a lawyer actually put together, and it
I
gives
see.
the whole step-by-step instructions. But you should read the B instructions, especially just what it tells you to put in each box, where it says box 1, do this, box 2, and it'll explain kind of what you're doing so you can wrap your head around it. But in step 2 in the vault, it's the first document in there, Claim Your Credits, which
Yeah, I've
kind of
seen that.
explains that whole process. Yep.
Okay, and then she did mention that she wouldn't be doing, or she didn't have a Direct Express account. She has a Go Direct Treasury.
She didn't elaborate on that though, so I know. I
We
don't
can
know what a
ask
go.
maybe
Yeah, I
again.
don't know what that is, but any non-interest bearing account that matches, if you're doing a 1040 return, be sure to deposit it in your Social Security name account. If it's a trust return, which not many of us are doing, it would need to be a trust account, tied to that name. I'm gonna still
gonna
try
hold
for
on.
the Direct Express, but we'll see.
Okay,
See how
thank you
that
so
goes.
much. Okay,
Yeah, of
have,
course.
have a good night. Thank you so much.
You as well. Thank you.
And you said the pay me can go into our Social Security account.
The what? What can go in there?
The one from the what is it, the 1040 ES, where we're paying
Yeah.
ourselves, can go
Yes.
into our regular all caps account.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then when we
Because it's
start
tied
dealing
to
with
your
the trust,
social. It's the same name. Yeah.
Gotcha. And real quick, I just want to be clear on with the bank information. The what was it? The promissory note or special, something sent to the IRS with the name of the particular bank. That would be good too. I want to make sure I understood. Kumari,
Wait, which one? Which one are you talking about?
the Mellon Bank.
Okay, guys. I can't get behind that one with y'all, but you guys, if that's what you're comfortable. I already had Steven, if he's still on here, he got his account shut down for doing that. Not even just the payment reverse, but I can't get behind that. I
Right.
understand with I've done the same thing with my social and my Federal Reserve Bank routing number, and that got my account shut down. So this is a
Wow.
private bank, I don't want to do that, and I'm not going to recommend it.
Right.
I trust Kim Marie over my judgment, but I really want to operate in clean hands, and that doesn't feel clean to me. I don't know.
So, if you want, I can say exactly my circumstance on it. So basically, what happened was I did it. It went through. So there, my wife did it, and yeah, it worked. It made the payment. The next day, both those cards were locked, and what we owed the day prior was minuscule to what's owed now. It more than tripled and locked the cards.
You got like penalties.
Huge penalties, not just a slap on the wrist. And yeah, so I personally, whether you can collect it or not, I just don't see how it's good when you have accounts locked all over. But that's just me. That's what happened to us, and that's all I can speak on it. I won't do it again.
And what's it called? G-Man's got reversed. Todd's got reversed. All of them. And I understand what Kim Marie's saying. That produces a receipt. That's 1099-able. I think that's what she was going after. Like, but I don't know. Sorry, who wanted to speak there? My apologies.
I was just gonna say, normally,
Johnny boy,
what's going on, brother? How you been?
what's up, my man? I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Normally, what we used to do was like, you would have, for example, if there was a yes for, they did settlements, and yes, they did ACH and also Fedwire, because that goes together. Then you could run on that account and then use the Social Security number. But otherwise, you wouldn't want to if it said no on both those.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Kimmery did it, so she's gonna kind of report back to me on what happens there. But I've already heard multiple people where it was reversed and they were penalized. So if you're already hurting right now, it just sounds like it. I don't want to. Y'all ultimately make your own decisions, and I'm not trying to go against Kim Marie because she's very intelligent, and maybe she sees like more outside of the box than I am. If you have one credit card, and that's the only credit card you use, and you're trying to discharge it, and then the account gets closed, and you have shitty credit, and you can't get another credit card right now until you get your check or whatever. Like, it's just not a good position for me, at least, to put myself in.
I definitely understand. I just wanted to get clarity. I know she was saying, she was about to say, because I was thinking of using it, and I was thinking too, why not, send the IRS like a 56, that way if anything if I did do it, I would have that there, and maybe a promissory note, But anywho, I was just asking because a
But
lot
then
of people wanted to know.
if you're doing the instrument, why not just do it with your social like the other people are doing right now,
How so? Just so I'm clear, how so?
I don't know the exact process, but a lot of people are doing negotiable instruments where they got the routing number for one of the banks that service the IRS transactions in their area, which is in the IRM. And then they use their account number as a social on the instrument. They use the micro font, and they that's the other thing too. I really like the ES process because we're just using their form and doing what they're telling us to do. But when you're trying to draft a money order, that looks like a legit check that can be taken. You can get in trouble for fraudulent check. I know it sounds weird, but it's because you're trying to make it so you're trying to mimic it to look like a specific check that check actually isn't. Whereas we're drafting these using their forms and just endorsing it. So it's a little, I don't want to step on anybody's toes, and I don't want to discourage anybody from trying anything they're comfortable with already. I may not have an understanding that you guys have, but yeah, that's just my take on it.
I appreciate you sharing. I just wanted to be me. I've been studying a while and slow to move, so I like to get clarity. So
No, of course. I'm the same way. Yeah. No worries.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna step in here, and
nobody speak.
This is it. We're going to let Marduke go and rest and sleep. No more questions, y'all. Let's all go get some rest.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I am very tired. So we'll kick back up tomorrow. I'll try to get you guys more heads up about, like, if we have a call. I was just going to answer some questions today, and Kim Marie hopped on and went a little longer, but we'll get a scheduled call in this week. And don't forget to join the vault. And I really appreciate you all and hope you guys have a lovely night. Thank you so much.
Good night.
I'll be calling you. Just kidding.
Have a good night, y'all.